All is well, man. All is well. Miami, living the dream. What's up, guys?
Uh,
So we got a special Sunday YouTube Live today. So you guys know I like to bring interesting guests on, and I wanted to bring on someone from the Redpill community for quite a while, actually, because, well, for some of you guys who've been following my channel a lot, you know that sometimes I mock the Red Pillars a little bit, but I wanted to actually actually bring someone on who's actually in that community and get their opinion. We have a mutual friend, Prince O, who speaks highly of you. So, do you want to just give a little bit of background about yourself, man?
can you hear me good?
Yeah, I can hear you just fine.
Oh, cool. All right. I'm Afi Kingdom. Real name is Afi. My channel is Afi Kingdom Podcast, originally known as Dominance Mindset Raw Game. Uh, I wouldn't consider myself. I'm more of a sub-personal development coach. But since I, deal with women, I kind of get a lot of questions for women.
Yeah.
But really, I'm kind of like more a personal development travel guy. But I've been coaching men for 2 years. Had my channel since April 2018, and have expanded. I just wrote 2 books. I got a course coming out. So I'm on my grind, really trying to make this thing serious. And
Nice. How did you
like,
get into all this?
huh?
How did you wind up getting into coaching, personal development, and all that?
If you see me doing this, it's just because Um, actually, I was lucky, so I was watching a lot of content, and I wanted to be a voice. I wanted to have a voice and an image behind my avatar.
Mhm.
Because creating content. I know for you, especially, you come across a lot of trolls and people talking and stuff. So I wanted
Yeah.
to have a face behind the actual name. So when I first started, my channel was Dominance Mindset and Raw Game. That's why my Instagram is named that, kind of to pay homage to my day ones, who've been
Mhm.
knowing me since then. And so I was just making a couple of videos. I think I made about 6 or 7 videos, about dating and stuff of that nature. And then I got an interview from Mr. Lucario. I don't know if you're familiar with him, but Mr. Lucario gave me an interview within 6 weeks. He was following my content, and I had my man Ron Will shot me out, and it was on from cracking. And then so when I did the interview with Lucario back in the Skype days, from the next day, I got a shitload of emails. And so I was like, okay, well, it actually is funny is because when he was like, how can these people reach you? And I made up an email that it wasn't even a real email yet. It's because I just, I have been watching this content and I was satisfied just having the live conversation. I didn't think, oh, I'm gonna be a YouTube star or nothing like that.
Mhm.
But the day after that, I started getting emails, people wanted to book consultations. So I was like, okay, well, you know, I guess this is a calling because I didn't sign up for it. And it was kind of humbling too, because I had been watching Mr. Lucario for years. And it was just kind of cool that even though people watching me and him, they want
Mhm.
advice from me, which was dope within itself. And just
That's
from then
pretty.
on, I've been
Pretty
doing
interesting.
it.
That's pretty interesting because that's almost exactly how I started. I initially I had no intention of doing coaching or anything like that. I just started a Facebook group where I wanted to share stories about my hookups, and then people would hit me up, occasionally on Messenger, be like, "Hey, man, can you coach me?" I'm like, "Coach you?" Like, I don't coach. Like, I just fucking share stories, and like, obviously took off from there. So that's pretty funny. And so I skimmed through your podcast a little bit. Like you had a lot of like guests on. Like I know you had Stephus Cold on, right? He was on your
Say
podcast.
that one more time.
You have. I mean, you've been doing your podcast for a while now. I saw you had Stephus Cold on, right? That guy, Stephus Cold.
Oh
Am I
yeah,
pronouncing
yeah. Stuff is cold. LFA, O'Shea, Ron Wills. Everyone that I watched before I made content has been on my channel, other than AMS. You know,
How come? How
Alpha
come
Male
not? How
Strategies.
come
Those are the
not
only
AMS?
who I haven't collaborated with. But we're in contact, so that's like a day one of mine too. So it's even kind of cool for him to even acknowledge me because he
Cool.
only followed 12 people and I'm one of them, and
Cool.
5 of those guys are famous guys. It was kind of cool. Actually, he's the guy who inspired me to make a channel. Watching him, Mr. Lucario was the guy who inspired me to get
Make
money.
some money. Right.
you know.
How would you? So for people who are not really that familiar with you, how would you describe like your mindset, your approach to, let's say, dating and life in general?
My mindset is just having a dominant mindset, being in control of everything. Uh, like my book, it's my first book that I wrote is called Conversation with the Mind. So basically, I'm kind of more into the psychological side of the game. You know,
Mhm.
um, I'm into control and stuff like that. Like, I grew up reading a lot of Robert Greene books, and Pimp was the first book that I read, Iceberg Slim. So I was fascinated by that. So um, I'm all about having a dominance mindset.
Are you
I
talking about
understand
more
like,
about BDSM, or are you talking about just self mastery? Are you talking about BDSM, or are you talking about more like
and
self mastery?
no, just self mastery, just being in control of your environment and your interactions with women. Like sometimes you may see a guy and he has a very attractive woman, for an example, but the dynamics of that relationship may be she may be the top. He may have that dime or that 10, but he may be paying all of her bills and
Mhm.
purses and doing all of that. But from the
Yeah,
outside looking in, you don't see all of that. You
yeah,
just admire and be like, man, he has a hot girl, but you don't know the dynamics. You know what I mean? She could be disrespectful or, just anything. So I'm just all about having control of your life and having a dominance mindset. Um, with
yeah.
dating,
That's
just with
super common.
everything.
You live in LA, right?
I live in Oakland, California.
Okay, Oakland. Yeah.
The easiest thing I can say is Golden State Warriors.
Going
So if
to
people
stay
don't,
what?
if Golden State Warriors, the NBA champs. Well, not
Okay.
anymore, but yeah. So Oakland is pretty much just across the bridge from San
That's
Francisco.
tough. Yeah, yeah. No, I've been there. I traveled there when I was 22. How do you mostly meet chicks? Like, do you mostly meet girls in real life? Do you mostly meet girls online? What's your like general approach?
Well, me personally, what I do is I call it I collect treasures. So, for
How do you
instance,
collect treasures?
right now, yeah, I treasure collect. So right now, if I'm at the airport, boom. If I'm eating at this Chili's right here, talk to her for 5, 6 minutes. In exchange, how are you? Boom, 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 boom. Drop her a card. That's one. Get off the airport. Uber driver, cute. Boom. That's two. Get online. I got a dog who's a murderer when it comes to baiting chicks. I put him in clothes and everything. So boom, post him. 3, 4. So now I done got 4 chicks, but really not doing anything but just minding my daily business and doing a little bait game on Instagram. Sometimes I do dating apps, but right now I just haven't been focused on it because I'm trying to get this course together because I'm gonna do webinars. Matter of fact, you're welcome to come speak too once I do it.
Yeah, I'd love to.
I got a course that I made and I'm gonna do webinars and people who to talk about their specialty. So if you want to talk about picking up girls or whatever, that's the thing. Like I got a style guy, so and then I got a close knit family of guys who I interact with and collaborate with too.
Can you elaborate more on the you said you meet chicks on Instagram. What's your approach there?
Um, my approach to Instagram, like I say, I'm all about control. So I like the women that come to me. That's my fix. I like the women that come to me. Um, yeah, I do pursue women that I'm interested in, but I give them enough bait that if they're not high interest, I'm not dealing with it. You know what I mean? I don't have time to be chasing around women that aren't interested because the ones that are interested, um, I don't have to chase at all. And I think a tip for men would be just as far as like self development, just become the best version of yourself. Because, like, for instance, me, I pull women from a lot of different angles. For instance, I can name you 7 right now, right? My dog is 1. I'm a sharp dresser. That's 2. I'm always, my clothes is always intact. You know what I mean? So that the fact that I've been traveling 20 years. I've been to, Africa, Europe, Asia, everywhere, for 20 years. So when I take a trip, boom, like I think the most women I ever got off of a bait was when I went to Dubai. I went to Dubai. I was out there skiing and doing all this stuff, and
Wait,
I
you were, you
literally
were
would get
you were
like 20.
skiing in Dubai? They have
Yeah, I would get
skiing.
like. Well, they have the mall where you
Oh,
ski in there.
indoor skiing. Yeah, I was confused.
Yeah,
I was like, who the
but
fuck
what
does
I'm
one
saying,
go skiing in Dubai?
yeah, but it's cool shit like that makes women respond to you. Oh, where are you? Oh, that's nice. So the travel shit, the fact that I'm an author now, add that. When I meet a woman and she asks what I do and I tell her I'm a teacher and I'm an author, boom, that's high interest. Then I can add the spice that I don't have any kids, boom, that's super high interest because I'm 39, I don't have any kids, and it just works for me. You know what I mean? Women, they like the beard and shit like that too, but
I think what you're getting
I
at
just do
is
different things. Like I'm a painter and shit. I know how to paint. I know how to draw different things. Like the book. The book. My first book, I drew that picture. I gridded that. So it's just different things that I know how to maximize and attract different women by doing different things. I'm not a one trick pony. I have a little edge to me. I can get real book smart, intellectual with a woman, and at the same time, I'm street smart and I can get edgy with her too. So I'm able to pull the best of both worlds.
Yeah, I mean, I know exactly what you're talking about. You're talking about lifestyle. So basically, trying to maximize every aspect of your lifestyle in order to draw girls in.
Right.
What are like some specific, aside from like doing cool shit, like can you give me some specifics of how you bait girls?
Baiting girls is easy. You just need to learn how to speak their language, understand what they like and what turns them on. Key examples like food pics. Boom. Every time I post a food pic, that's a DM. Literally every single time.
Oh,
Literally every bit that I know how to take. But just stuff like that. Like I went to photography school, so I know how to take the right angles. I know how to edit the filters to draw them in. Boom. Who are you with? And even then, when you do like dating like that, you want to be high value. So I may post a pic where it's showing that I'm with the woman, but you can't see the woman, which taps into a woman's curiosity. You know what I'm
oh,
saying? And if you're doing high status stuff, like if I'm going to Fleming's on a Tuesday and that's like a la carte place where there's $200 dinners, uh, and it's not my birthday, well, boom, that equals high status. And a woman is going to come validate me because she wants to be a part of that lifestyle. You know what I'm saying?
so
Even though if
you're
she
posting
gets a
all
part, I
these
might make her
stories.
pay for it.
Sorry, you're posting
Huh?
all these stories to Instagram, basically, right?
One more time.
You're posting this as stories to Instagram. So you go to like a nice restaurant, you make a story.
Yeah.
You travel to Dubai, you make a story. So that's basically right.
Yeah, I'm a story catcher. I'm a story catcher because I learned this game that I learned from Instagram. I learned it from Snapchat. See, I can post some fly stuff. Say if I'm in Brazil and I'm on the Brazilian stairs or whatever, I can post some fly stuff like that. But if I post that, um, if there's not a lot of other people on the comments, women only want to comment on shit that other women are commenting on.
Yeah,
A
that's very
woman,
true.
if you got a picture and you get 100 likes and you don't get no comments, well, most likely the woman isn't going to be the first. But when I
Right,
post the same picture in my stories, she has the opportunity to now contact me. Not only that, it's privately because
right,
women don't like to be rejected. They like cold approaching to the point where they are asking about what it is you're doing, and then it's almost entitled for them to give them an answer, which makes them comfortable because you're not going to really reject them. As if a woman came up to me and was like, "Hey, I think you're cute. What's your name? Do you have a girlfriend?" I say, "Yeah." Well, then it's game over. I go
right.
do it in a subtle way. They come to me, and then it's basically just ways to start and initiate conversation.
Yeah, I mean that definitely makes sense, man. Do you ever slide into girls' DMs, or mainly you just post stories and have them come to you?
Uh, I'll have them come to me. Sometimes I give a little to get a lot. So sometimes where a woman may be flirting, say she's liking and commenting on a lot of my shit, I'll start liking and commenting on some of her shit. But I'm still not going to approach. It's an ego thing. I want them to damn near I like you. Like I know it, but I want them to say it. You know what I mean? But that's just I don't expect guys to like do it necessarily like that. But you got to realize is that I'm a little older. Like I graduated in school from high school in 1999, so I've been dealing with women since like 1995, right? So back in the when I was younger, I would I got to get 10 numbers every day. But as I've got older in season, I like for the women to approach me. But when I do approach women, I do things in a finesse, real slick kind of way. Like for instance, I can see a woman. So my approach is I wanna be the one to tell a woman something she hasn't heard today. That's my goal. So for one, I'm big on the business cards. because when I give a woman a business card and she calls me, I already know she chose up on me. I don't have to worry about her interest. Not only is the business card going to get her, but I put intriguing things for her to have a reason to call me. You know, I'm a photographer, I'm an artist, and I'm an educator.
Let's actually deep dive on that a little bit. So let's actually explore that. So you mainly give girls business cards. You don't grab their numbers.
Or no, I give them my business card. I give them my business card. They call me first. Or if I give them my number, what I do is I give them a command. I tell them when to call me. If women can't call me whenever they want. So if I see a woman in this airport today, I'm gonna say, hey, I'm about to catch this flight. I'll be checking in. You know, I'm gonna get in a little late. So how about you give me a call in the morning at 8? Boom. So what happens now? If she doesn't call me at 8, then guess what? Now she's in apologetic mode. So now I win either ways. So if she calls me first, I win. And if she doesn't call when she told me to, now I can play it like, oh, you know, I'm kind of give her some scarcity. I'm kind of on the fence about you. You don't follow through like you say. So then now she wants to prove me that she does. So either way it goes, I'm still the winner. You know what I mean?
I like your approach. I like your approach in theory. To me, like as you're saying this, the only issue I see is that women are horrible at taking initiative. Can you hear me?
Yeah. You know, I'm in the airport, so I gotta tune out the loudspeaker.
Yeah. I generally find that women, especially younger girls, like are horrible at taking initiative. So how do you kind of get around that? Like, for example, let's say, okay, let's do a hypothetical, right? You meet a girl at the airport, really good conversation, shit is on point. You give her a business card and say she has intention of following up, right? But she just forgets, whatever. She gets drunk with her girlfriends, right? And the next day she's like, oh shit, like what if he's mad at me? But you don't have her number. Like how do you overcome that, for example?
Well, that's the key, brother. I have an abundance mindset. So my women are never down to zero. So what happens is I deal with the woman from a high standpoint, and women can feel that, and they find it's attractive. Guys will understand that women like guys who other women like.
Of course.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So if I'm put it like this, so if I'm dating and I'm on a drought and I haven't had sex in 8 weeks and I see a woman who I'm attracted to, I'm gonna go in there thirsty, whether I like it or not, because for one, I ain't had sex, and for two, I have high interest. So for me, if I meet a woman have high interest, that's all said and fine. But I still, like, you know, I got my other phone right here. You know what I mean? Like, so it's never on zero, bro. Every time I go out of town, like I literally have chicks every place that I go, because every place that I go, I meet chicks and I keep in contact with them. So there's never a time where I'm on E. And I have an attitude that, you know, I can take it or leave it. But at the same time, I'm charming. You know, like for instance, like a strategy that I use is I can either say good stuff and my actions don't match, or my actions match but don't say the good stuff. It keeps women in chaos and confusion, and they chase the validation. Another thing too, make women invest fast. When you make women invest fast, they're not going to go anywhere. So if you meet a woman and she want to hang out, make her Uber. Yeah, it's only $20, but if she Uber and takes to go somewhere, she's not going to flake. If you make them invest fast. If a woman's coming to my house, hey, bring me some wine. Just little things like that keep women around, because women don't like to lose out on their investments, especially when they're spending their time and their money. So you get them to do it early. Don't make them your girlfriend. Yeah, don't make them your girlfriend and then start asking them. Like, ask them before that.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. When you the girls want to get like the ROI, they want to get return on their investment. So the more they invest, the more they're going to be motivated to make it work. That's why I always teach guys, like if you have an option between having the date, you know, in the middle or having her to come to a bar near you, it's always better to get the girl to come to you because she's more invested. If she drove an hour, she's going to be more likely to fuck you, even if your game is whack or whatever, just because she wants to get that ROI. So yeah, I definitely agree with you on that. Do you find that doing the business card things works better than getting girls' numbers? Like, what's been your experience with
that? Well, you know what? I call it sudden death mode, brother. So I will get females' numbers if I'm out of town, and even then. So I'm going out of town right now. So if I meet a chick and say I'm out of town till Wednesday, right? So if I meet a chick today, I'm going to tell her I'm out of town till tomorrow. I'm going to put some scarcity on my name. You know, I use the limited time only approach. You know, so
you find that they can backfire though, because chicks are like, well, I don't want to just have a one night stand or something like that. You ever get that issue?
Yeah, that's where the charm comes in. Like, I understand women. I know how to make them laugh. I know how to make them cry. I know how to see. Look, so for me, for example, so when I meet a woman, that's what I was saying earlier. I want to pride myself on saying something that she never said before. So if I see a woman in here, I'll stop. I'll be like, "Hey, how you doing?" She'll be like, "Fine." It's all about focal tone too. So I could be like, "Hey, how you doing?" Or "Hey, how you doing?" The same thing, different meaning. "Hey, how you
Right.
doing?" Now she's like curious. What does he want? Hey, you know what? Um, I just wanted to tell you, beautiful man. You're the most beautiful woman I've seen today. So you guys say don't validate because they don't know how to do it. See, I'm doing it from, even though I'm giving them validation, I'm doing it from a higher standpoint. It's kind of like almost giving a backhanded compliment. Like,
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
the shit, but you're
I know
cool too.
exactly what you mean. Yeah.
You cool too. I'm the shit though. Just don't recognize that. So hey, you're the most beautiful woman I've seen. Oh my God, thank you. Hey, I ain't got time, but drop my card if you're ever interested. Give me a call. Boom. So then sometimes that throws her off. Like, oh wow, that was different. Just shit like that. And then I remember one time I met a woman and I was talking to my mom and she was looking at me and I said, "Hey, how you doing?" "Hey, I'm on the phone with my mother, but I'm gonna give you my card. If you can call me tomorrow, we can set something up and go to lunch." Boom. So she's like, already, "Oh, you're with your mom? What's that doing?" It tells her that women think like, oh, if a man treats his mom good and loves his mom, I'm gonna treat them good. I already know that. So I'm just using that against them, even though it's just some regular shit, but I know how to tap in. Oh, so what was your mom talking about? Oh, talking about opening up a business for a catering. Oh my God, that's so sweet. See, boom, I'm saying shit instead of, hey, what do you like? What do you wanted to see? Fuck all that shit.
What are you talking about
Oh
with
my
your mom?
God, you
Oh,
take care of your
we're
mom.
talking about my adult circumcision. I'm planning on getting circumcised later. Okay, so let me ask you this. This is kind of a nerdy question, but I'm all about like statistics and shit. So what percentage, like say you're at the airport and you talk to 10 different girls and you give 10 girls your business card. Like roughly speaking from your experience, what percent will actually follow through and hit you up?
I'm about 50-50, bro, because I cold approach, but I check interest first. I'm not gonna like I'm going to look for some eye contact first. I want to look
Okay.
and I want to, you know what I'm saying? I'm not going to just walk up and she's not paying no attention to me.
I actually think
and then
that what you just said is extremely huge. So you're not really doing cold approach. You're doing more warm approaches. So you're first scanning for indicators of interest before you approach. You're not just blindly approaching chicks.
No. But then I can kind of tell, like I can tell by the way a woman dresses if she likes art. So I'm going to bring up the fact that I paint gradually.
How long did it take you to get to that level of awareness? Because that what you're talking about requires a lot of awareness.
Yeah, I don't tell things. I don't tell women things. I reveal them.
Yeah.
So instead of oh, go ahead.
No, I was saying what we're discussing right now requires a high level of awareness. Like most guys in the pickup community, they don't have the awareness to pick up on whether the girl's into them or not. How long did it take you to like reach that level of like social intuition and awareness?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it takes a long time. Like I want to reiterate to you guys. So I'm not saying like I just read a couple of books and I just know all of this shit. Like I'm 39 years old, so I've been literally dealing with women for 25 years. You know what I'm saying? I've been in relationships, I've lived with women, and I'm just an observant guy. So I pick up on patterns quick. Like I was one guy who was brought to the community who I didn't have to hit rock bottom. Like the first time I over pedestalized a woman, I was thinking maybe it was just that situation. And then the second time it happened, I'm like, wait a minute, what's the common denominator here? Okay, well, I have women who basically cooperate with me. But for some reason, when I'm in a relationship, the girl I'm in a relationship with gives me pushback. So what's the common denominator? Well, the common denominator is I'm treating the special one special. So once I figured that out, I said, okay, no more of that. You know what I'm saying? I don't have to just keep doing things. It took me 2 times. Just like when the first time I figured out, see, my background is when I was younger in the 90s, right?
In the 90s.
When I was a teenager in the 90s.
Back when I was riding my bike, fucking ding dong ditching.
When I was a teenager in the 90s, I had an older brother. So if I was a teenager, he was in his 20s. So what I learned from watching him, that's another thing. Learn from watching people too. You don't always have to do the shit yourself. You can learn from other people.
I definitely agree with that. I think
So
a big
he
thing
would,
that helped me. I was just saying, big thing
he
that
would have
helped me.
girls, right?
Go ahead.
But he would be in relationships. So he would have high, like, oh, I love you, I love you. So that's what I thought. I was like, oh, so if I want a girlfriend, if I want to have sex, I got to go out here, find a girl I like, become her boyfriend, and then I can get busy. And that was my routine. So I would just have girlfriends. I don't even like the girls, but I would just have girlfriends and shit just so I could have sex. And then one particular woman that um, I met her and we had sex the next day. So I was like, wow, this was pretty cool. I met her, I had sex with her. I didn't sit up all night on the phone with her, talking about all this bullshit. I didn't have to take her on 3-4 dates, but yet I had sex. So then I was like, well, let me see. How many other women are like this? I think the key to my game, when I realized, and it changed my whole life as far as dating, is when I realized that women like sex as just as much as men do.
Yeah,
See, I didn't
sure.
understand that at first. I would think my initial thought when I was a teenager is that men are the chasers. We like to have sex. So when you want
Women just do it for us. Yeah. I think that's a common
yeah.
mindset.
So
A
it's
lot of
like
guys have.
it's like, okay, you're good enough. Here I am type of
I
shit.
will
When I realized
sacrifice
that,
this because I like you. Yeah.
mhm,
Once you go from
yeah,
that
when I
to
realized they're horny too, it changed. Right. Because now it's like, hey, I have something that they want.
it's a win-win.
Changes.
It's mutually advantageous. Instead of you're taking something from her, it's a win-win. So when you switch your mindset to that, it kind of solves a lot of problems. What age did you lose your virginity at?
You said what age? I was 15. I was
Damn,
15,
dude,
bro. But I
fucking early bloomer.
yeah, I was 15.
I was
Yeah,
I was
in the
19.
early 90s, I was 15.
I
And
was
yeah, but
19.
once I figured that
Took
out,
me
it's like,
19
oh,
years.
okay, so now I have some shit to bribe women with. I have some bait. It's not just, oh, because that's what I used to think. Like, okay, if the woman likes me,
Would
then
you
as long
say
as I
you're like
perform,
sorry, go ahead.
oh yeah, no, as long as I perform, then she'll give her body up to me. And then
Yeah,
I realized, like, women are horny too,
for sure. Would you say you're more or less a natural?
but most definitely a natural.
Yeah,
Most
that's kind
definitely a natural. Yeah, I grew up around pimps and stuff, bro. Like Oakland, that's where it's basically originated from. So I had big uncles and shit like this who kind of taught me that side of the game, and then I
of.
got into the mind part of it. And
Okay.
then just the mind part is cool. Like right now, I'm with a woman right now, right? I'm with a chick right now, and
Oh,
she's walking around. She know what I'm doing, but at the same time, like, I could meet another one. You know what I mean? Because I got a friend out in Vegas. I could hook up with him, and then boom, you know. Even then, like when I do
I'll
stuff
keep
for
it on the
women, like
DL.
yeah, well, when I do stuff for women, it's earned. Like if I take a woman on a date, it's because she earned it. It's not like she earned it by her cooperation and her good energy though. Like I would never meet a chick and she tell me where she want to go. That'll never happen.
Yeah.
Anytime I take a woman on a date, it's something that I want to do. That way I don't lose. So the way I set it up is, hey, how you doing, Christina? Oh, I'm fine. Hey, I'm about to go hit up the golf course. You want to roll? Oh, sure. Okay, I'm gonna pick you up. Hey, pick up some wine for me real quick. I'll be there in 30 minutes. Boom, that's easy. I'm gonna take her to the 9 hole. Take her to the driving range. Guess what? It's some shit that sounds fly, but it doesn't cost a lot of money. So if I go to the driving range, I already golf, so I already have my clubs in the back of my truck. Boom, so I already had that. All I'm doing is buying balls in a golf cart, bro. So I'm spending $50 and I'm giving the woman an experience she never had with anybody else. Most likely, she's probably played miniature golf with some cats, but ain't nobody ever actually took her on the golf cart and hit no balls with her but me. And it
You're
separates
basically
me from the
so
rest.
when you're basically sorry, go ahead. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, it's just
You're basically
it's the
doing the
announcer. I hear you.
You're basically doing the opposite of conventional wisdom. So conventional wisdom for guys who are not into game, it's to basically like win the girl over. So you're trying to like, woo her, you're taking her to dinners and all that shit. That's like some very basic shit. What you're basically talking about, and I do pretty much the same thing, is the opposite of that. You're actually getting the girl to win you over in a sense, right? You're completely reversing the parade. Personally, I literally do two kinds of dates. Date number one, the girl comes straight to my place for a bottle of wine. Date number two, we meet at a bar nearby. I don't actually start doing like activities until I fuck the girl and I really like her and I just want to hang out with her. Like to me, the litmus test is, do I want to hang out with this girl more than my friends, right? If the answer is yes, then I'll do activities with her. If the answer is no, which it usually is if I don't know a chick, then I'll just do activities with my friends and I'll invite the girl over to bang, right? Until I get to the point where I enjoy her company as much as I enjoy my friends. So it's kind of like the big litmus test for me. Well, let me ask you this: how has your game changed? You know, you're 30. You said you're 39. How has your game changed and your approach changed from when you were 29 or from when you were 20? Like, what are like some big game changers for you personally?
You want me to keep it 100 and keep it a pretty real transparent with you?
Oh, 100%, dude. Yeah.
All right, so this is where, see, I got waves and shit. I got, even this is tools. I got 360 waves. Women dig that shit, you know. And then even then, I wear hats. I wear hats just so they don't see them at first. Reveal, right? It's revealing. You know what I'm saying? I know that they're gonna think I got a fucked up head or a fucked up hairline because I wear the hat, and I know I don't. You know what I mean? It's just finesse game, right? But as far as when my life changed, I'm gonna keep it real. Is when I caught a DUI, right? I caught a DUI chasing ass. Yeah, I caught a DUI coming from the strip.
Okay.
Yeah, DUI coming from the strip club, right? Coming from the strip club, partying, made it home, bro. Made it all the way home. It was so drunk and thirsty that I still wanted to get some ass, so I called a chick up and drove my drunk ass over there.
Wow.
And then caught DUI. So I was, first off, I'm mad because I caught a DUI, but I'm even more mad because I actually made it home. You know what I'm saying? And left. So when I went to jail for that, I was sitting in jail and I'm like, damn, man, what's
you have to go to jail for DUI?
Hell yeah. California? Hell yeah.
Shit, really?
Man, DUIs cost $10,000. Three DUIs in California is a felony, bro. And they cost $10,000 a piece.
How long did you have to go to jail for that? Like, was it like just like an overnight thing, or you actually had to like go to jail for a few days?
No, because they want to take you off the street.
Oh,
they want to take you off
like a few hours, basically.
Yeah, even like I'll even learn, like, before I used to think it was like a racial thing, but it's like if you're in your car and you have your keys, you know how you say if you're in Miami, you're drunk and you're like, oh, let me just sit up and post for a little bit and drink some water. Well, guess what, brother? If you got those keys in that car, that's a DUI still, because that's intent. You know what I mean? So I didn't know that at first. So anyway, so I went to jail, and then I was just thinking like, damn, bro, if I get 2 more of these DUIs, I'm gonna go to jail for a year. If I go to jail for a year, I'm not gonna get no women, I can't get no money, and I'm gonna lose everything. So when I got out, I said, you know what? I'm not chasing ass no more.
Your sex life will definitely go downhill in jail.
Yeah. I said I ain't chasing no more, bro. That's what I'm doing.
In jail. You know, your options are gonna be like a fucking gay guy named Jose. That's like pretty much the extent of what you got going.
Even though I got some down chicks, they're not paying my bills for a year because I was out drinking too much. Like they're not that fucking down. You know what I'm saying? So I say, you know what? It's not worth me losing everything. So I want the women to come to me. Because me drinking, running around trying to get new tail, led me here.
So that was actually like a transformational experience for you, basically?
It happens for me quick, brother, just like that. When I was in there, I was chasing. When I got out, I said, no more chasing.
And did you find like the shift happened right away, or was it something you had to really work at? Or was it just
right away?
Really?
Right away. I sat down and I thought about it. Yeah. That's the way my brain works, bro. I don't know. I've just always been a real observant kid. Like I got straight A's in school when I was in high school and I didn't even try hard. You know what I mean? I be thinking I'm autistic sometimes, the way I can obtain information and shit. But the reason why it's funny is because actually I'm a school teacher now, right? For elementary. So just that alone, me teaching at a school, and I work with 80% women, I'm prime meat over there at work. I'm prime meat. Certain women I have follow me on Facebook so they can say certain shit. I'm in daddy mode. I'm in teacher mode. Not only that, I get to pre-dress so women if I wear some Gucci shit or something, I can wear it to work. I don't have to save it for the club. You know what I mean? Like just Gucci frames, I got to watch to this, just stuff like that. So if just like this, I wear these glasses one day, and then the next day I wear the watch to match. If a woman notice it, I know I got her ass. That she paying that much attention to me that she noticed my accessories and stuff like that. And that's where I get my fix at.
Sorry, go ahead.
that's where I get my fix at.
So do you find that you meet a lot of chicks as a result of teaching, like a lot of MILFs and shit like that, or is it mainly just
because it's a job that women like. Whenever I tell a woman that, it's their vibe totally changes. Then the thing is, even then, I tell a woman I teach, right? Oh, you love kids. See, I'm tapping into that. Most of these women got kids, you know. Oh, you love kids, don't you? All this. Then I'd be like, what grade? Oh, elementary. Oh, babies. I'm already getting her invested in my career. You know what I'm saying? Before she even gets to know me, she's already picking up that I'm this type of guy and shit. Because it takes a certain type of guy, which is true, to work with kids, let alone small kids as that. So I done already got 5 points off interaction from the job. Of
it also means you're safe, right? Because the assumption is, it means you're safe, because the assumption is if you could be a teacher, that you're not going to be doing any like weird or fucked up shit. So yeah, I think there's like a double.
Yeah, I'm a swaggy teacher though. See, I just show the women all teachers don't wear white buttoned ups and braided belts, man. Some of us wear like fly stuff like this. California, man, we get paid good money. People, that's all school, all teachers not broke. I'll tell you that right now. It depends on which district you work for. My district paid me nice, and then for the fact I've been doing it over 10 years, I get a decent salary. You know what I mean? And then I get summers off to travel. You look, just this year, I was supposed to go to Bali and Cambodia and Vietnam behind this Corona stuff. You know what I mean?
Corona has been a
giant. So then when I do that, I post that. Oh, I get women like that. Oh, where you going next? Shit like that.
The part that I find most interesting is that the DUI was like improved your game. Like you getting a DUI got you laid more. I find that interesting. That was like a big transformational experience for you.
Because I figured out what the problem was. Just like when I was earlier. The same, like me, I have aha moments. Just like when I was earlier, I started off dating women for sex because I thought that was the scenario. That's what I see my older brother do. Once I had one, not a few times. Once I had sex with one chick without her being my girlfriend, I was like, okay, hold on, let me fucking change some shit there. And then the next one was working. The same thing when I was traveling. The first flight I ever took, bro, was to LA. And I met a chick off of MySpace. Go figure, right? So I met a chick off of MySpace, and she flew me out. And when she flew me out, I flew there. The guy on the plane, he was like, "This your first time flying?" I was like, "Yeah." So he bought me drinks. So I got to my first time flying. I got drunk on the plane. Got to LA from the chick I've been cupcaking with on MySpace. Knocked her down. So and then came home. So then that said aha moment, because before then. I would be trying to get the fellas like, come on, fellas, let's go on a guy's trip and all this. And let's all go to Miami. Let's all go to Vegas. And then, what happens, what happened is one guy don't go. And then guess what? My ass ain't going. So once I did that LA trip by myself, I say, you know what? Boom. I don't need guys to travel with me. I'll let them know I'm going somewhere. And if they're not going, cool, but I'm still going. And then that's how I just start doing it on my own. You know what I mean? It takes one moment for me.
I was saying, you know what I think, man? I think that it sounds like you're a fast learner, basically. Like when you have an idea, you pick up on it pretty fast. I think the reason for that is because what you said earlier, you're natural. So your internals are on point. So what I found from doing a lot of coaching and observing is that, okay, so let's say there's two guys. One of them is a natural who just doesn't know anything about online game. They read my product, they get it like that. Like within 3 days, they're messaging me saying, dude, I am crushing Tinder, right? Take the other extreme, a guy who has really horrible internals, like a guy who, is just not social, just thinks he's a piece of shit, just never got laid most of his life. That guy will read the same exact product, but he have a lot harder time implementing it because his internals aren't there. So I think that the reason, I don't know you super well, but the reason that you're able to pick up on this stuff really fast is just because you have good internals. Like the DUI thing being a transformational thing. You had an idea, and then you basically adapted that idea without much internal resistance. That's my little armchair psychology.
Yeah, like you got to, as a man, bro, and as players in the game, I feel like we all need game and we all need pickup lines and stuff like that. But the key is find out what women like about you, because women may like you because you're blue eyes and shit. You know what I'm saying? So what happens now? Well, then now you're gonna feature your eyes, right? Women like the fact that I have eyebrows that look like they're arched and shit, right? So I, you know what I mean? Sexy look. Oh, okay, baby. And I make them look at what they like, but I know women like it because that's what the shit that they tell me. They're
Yeah,
like, oh, you got long eyelashes. You got long eyelashes. So then I could be like, damn, I got something in my eye. Oh yeah. Oh my God, your eyelashes are so long. Boom. It's just like, you know, like clockwork. You know, women
my
like
eyes are
women
looking
like,
extra blue today.
yeah. Just like women, guys think that women, like, you have to like dress like super GQ and shit like that to pull women. No, you don't, bro. All you have to do is be clean, have your clothes need to fit, and wear nice shoes. Women will pay attention to your shoes, and
That's
they'll pay
very true.
attention to your nails. Like I get my nails done, right? Now some
The
guys
shoes
may not
thing is
agree with
very,
that,
very
but that's
true.
on you. Yeah. Plus, it's just the thing. Like, where do women hang out? The Manny Petty place. You the only one in there, bro. I remember I took a ceramics class, so I'm in there doing my ghost shit, doing all this ceramics. But guess what, bro? I'm in the place where there's 35 chicks and me and only one other dude. Right? I put myself in position to be chose. I'll go take a yoga class. So I'm in there with 3 guys and 25 women. So even if the women don't find me hot, they gonna want some masculine energy. And guess what? I'm here, baby.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know what you mean. I was talking to my barber a week ago, and we were just talking about like pickup and shit like that. And he was like telling me about all the girls he's been sleeping with, and I was like, dude, well, you said you're this is your business. You're working 60 hours a week. How do you have time to meet girls? Like, where do you usually go? He's like, dude, I don't have to do anything. Like 50% of my clients are women, and like 1 out of 5 of them, 1 out of 10 of them likes me. If I do 20, 30 female clients a day, he's like, that's my pussy for the night. So I found that interesting. But dude, you know what's funny? As we're talking, you really like initially just based on like what Prince told me, and then also like skimming through your channel, I thought you were like very red pill. You actually don't seem red pill at all. You seem just like a normal, reasonable guy who has game. Like you don't seem. Here's my observation: you don't seem bitter or resentful. You seem like a good attitude when it comes to women. You
Hold
have
on,
a
just 1 second. They talk in Spanish. Could you repeat the last part? They talk
Yeah,
in Spanish.
I was saying that like you don't like you. I don't think you fall into the traditional red pill category because you seem like a normal, reasonable guy. Like you're not bitter towards women. I don't detect
No,
any.
hell no. I love women.
Yeah,
I look, bro. I love women. I just don't trust them. It's a difference. I love women, but I just don't trust them. I can love them and want to be with them and cupcake with them, but that don't mean I trust them. And I just know that they don't mean what they say. They don't even understand what they say. They just move by it. They talk through their emotions,
but
so
would
they
you
only tell you
say?
how they feel at the time. Yeah, I
Would
don't
you,
consider myself all red pill like that, bro. But the reason why I kind of do, well, I don't, but I do, is because I've been having this mindset before YouTube, before content, but living in the blue pill world, everybody wants a girlfriend in a relationship. So my stuff seemed not normal to my peers. But when I
right.
come to this space, guys understand exactly what I mean. You know
You're
what I'm
basically
saying?
you're like purple pill. You're like somewhere in between.
Yeah. So it's like the Redpill community. I wouldn't necessarily consider I'm just a boss finesse game, and I live a good life. That's what I do, and I love chicks, and chicks love me. You know what I mean? So. But no, but I guess I just don't. I love women. I just don't trust them. Like when a woman tells me, "I love you, Afi," yeah, in my head, I don't. My ego's a check. I don't say, "Oh, I love you too, baby." I'm thinking to myself, "Okay, you love me right now."
Yeah, I mean,
You
well,
know?
that's like a reasonable, thought. Like, I think that's a good mindset to have. But would you say you don't trust women, or you just don't trust people in general? Because me personally, I just generally don't trust people. Their sex is irrelevant to me. Like, until I get to know someone, I don't trust them.
I would agree. Well, I would say I don't trust. I don't trust. Well, you know what? This is the game. I trust people to be them. You know what I'm saying? I trust people to do them. I got a sister. She's always asking questions, wondering, always saying little stuff. I get it. That's her. I got a cousin. He's always saying undertone, little hater stuff sometimes, but that's just him. It doesn't upset me. I figured out that's what he does. So then that's what I get. If I have a woman and she's always having full of drama, like sometimes you meet women and every time you talk to them, it's, oh, I got this going on. Oh, this has had bad work going on. Oh, these persons hating on me. It's not it's not that that's really happening. It's that they're addicted. It's that they're addicted to drama and shit. Also, that's another thing. It's not you guys. You don't be Robin Hood thinking that you're meeting chicks on the bad days and you want to come in. Look, relationships don't have equity. People misinterpret that. People think if I do this, this, and this for this chick and hold her down, then she'll pay me back on the back end. Not true. That's the way us men think. Us men, that's how we choose our mates. We choose our mates by, hey, this girl held me down. This girl was with me when I didn't have anything. She inspired me to get better. So when that happens, let me give her my loyalty. So women don't do that. If you doing this, this, and this for a chick, just like that. Perfect example, bro. Just like that. My cousin, I learned this from my cousin too, a different cousin. But just watching him, we never had a conversation about it, nothing. I remember he bought her a car. He bought her a car. We were in the early 20s, so he bought her a car. I'm just letting you know. So he bought her a car, right? You know, back in the days, they used to have, y'all young, so y'all don't know, but they used to have these like little sales at the Coliseum and stuff like, oh, come on down. We got all these cars, auction, $9.99, $10.99, $9.99, all this shit, right? So he took her one of those, so we got her a brand new car. Say this was a Saturday, right? So this happened on a Saturday. By that Tuesday, they're getting into it over the toilet seat. So when I watched that, she's cussing at him. Oh, man, you keep leaving the toilet seat open and you're eating all the food. So in my mind, I'm thinking, wait a minute. He just bought her a damn car.
He can
Cashed out, not even a down payment. And then that don't even matter a few days later. So from me seeing that, it taught me, hey, you know what? Let me do whatever I want to do. Because when I try to impress and do stuff for them, it doesn't matter. What I did for them yesterday, she will not appreciate today.
Yeah, that's actually very true, and I definitely agree with that. I think you're touching on something very interesting. So you mentioned that men look at relationships, okay, this is what the chick did for me, and I give her value. In your opinion, how do women view this? Like, what's the other end of the spectrum?
How do women view what? Being put on a pedestal?
You said men view relationships as like, you know, this chick did this, she gives me this, so that's why I value her. What do women value? Like, what's the other end of the coin?
If how you make them feel. If a woman needs to feel happy,
what makes a woman go like, hey, I want this guy. I really want to I want to marry this guy. I want to date this guy. Like, what makes a woman do that?
Depends on where she's at. If she's young, it's because you're hot and alpha, attractive, and have assertiveness and manly qualities. If she's older, it's because you're a comfort, safe zone guy. You're just the stability for her. Women like stability.
But do you think emotional connection plays into this? Like, what's your take on that?
Emotional, yeah, I'm very empathetic, bro. I can emotionally connect with any woman, bro, because it's just the way that I talk. Like I know how to talk like poetry, man. Real talk.
No. I mean, how important is that for a relationship? Like, how important? What kind of value does that play? Like, is that a big game changer? Like, for example, if you have a strong connection with a girl, or you don't think it really matters that much?
It matters depending on what kind of results you want. See, some guys' expectations is as long as they got a hot meal, sex every night, and a hot looking chick, then they're fine. Me, I want my clothes washed. I want, I need to be served, just like that. Like, so say if I come to a woman's house and she cooks for me, I'm gonna eat it, but I'm not gonna act like it's so great. I'm not gonna be like, oh babe, this is so good. This is, man, you so did do a good job. No, fuck that. I'm not gonna do that because now I don't know, just from doing that one thing, I done put a ceiling because now she knows, hey, this guy is easily impressed. So I don't have to do nothing else but this. You know what I'm saying? When you have a nonchalant attitude about things, then you put off the energy that this is what I expect, and it makes them invest and do more.
Dude, you should get a Latina girlfriend. Latinas are all about like fucking doing shit for you. I live in Miami, and I just like big asses. For that reason, I also like passion. So for that reason, I mean Latinas. obviously fuck with white girls too, but mainly Latinas. And dude, I've noticed like between Latinas and white girls, Latinas, they will really put in the effort. Like they will cook for you. They will like fucking, dude, I remember my last girlfriend, she was from Colombia. Like she was like calling the veterinarian for me for my dog, like setting up appointments, like just going above and beyond, you know, without me even asking her. Like, you know, she like randomly clean my place, shit like that.
Yeah, and even so I'm gonna say two things real quick. For one, how can you lead a woman if you're chasing her? It can't happen. You cannot lead a woman if you're chasing her. So just know that going in, fellas. If you're chasing her, you cannot be leading her. If you're leading her, you can't lead and chase at the same time. It's impossible. You know what I'm saying? What was the second thing I was gonna say? Oh, traveling, bro. Just like that. So you've been to Colombia.
Yeah.
If you travel the world, bro, the women who you think are dimes are not really dimes.
I definitely agree with that.
Look, bro, I'm in California, right? If I'm with a chick and she's a dime to me, if I take her over there to Medellin, she's a 7 as soon as we hop off the plane.
Yeah.
So once you go over to these places, you go to Philippines, bro. When I was in China, or when I was in Thailand, that's where I was thinking. When I was in Thailand, when I walk, the people bow at you, bro. Once you get used to this type of shit, you don't have time for like women flaking because you're not used to it. The same way women are used to your validation, you get used to it the other way around. Just like if I like black chicks, if I go to Ghana or South Africa, I'm going to eat battered black chicks who are raised to be a compliment to their man.
Plus, you got the American passport.
Yeah, man.
I definitely agree with that. It's basically like the sexual marketplace changes wherever you go. So like, you know, let's say hypothetically speaking in Miami, you know, there's a lot of good looking, tall white guys. So in Miami, and maybe I'm a 7, 7.5, right? Like if I'm being realistic. I go to Medellin, I suddenly become an 8.5 or 9. Like I just literally, I did nothing to change myself. I drastically rose in the sexual marketplace. I go to the Philippines.
Guys don't understand that when we go to the places, we are now the foreigners. We're looking at them like they're foreigners, but we're foreign to them. It's the same effect.
You get the boost in the sexual marketplace. Yeah, man. This is it's funny because like I thought that you were gonna be like super red pill, so I thought we were gonna like disagree on a few things, but actually I think you and I pretty much agree on everything, honestly.
I'm a good guy, bro. Hey, smile, guys. Smile. Get your teeth. You see this? This is bait. Women love it, bro. Don't have to be tough. Women love this.
And you got a super white smile. All right, bro. Let's get to some of the questions because we got a lot of questions building up. So let's crack into that. Hi, Alex. What's the most common problem you see in your new students? All right. So we'll both answer this question. So I would say one of the biggest issue I see is over gaminess. So guys are overly gaming. Like they're, you know, here's how I would explain over gaminess. Let's look at it as a spectrum, right? On one end of the spectrum, you have the super boring guy who's like, hey, how are you? Hey, how's it going? Hey, how's your day? Hey, are you good? That's the extremely boring guy. But then guys are worried about being a super boring guy, so they overcompensate and they go too far to the other direction where they're constantly trying to like one-up themselves, you know, doing like these really super witty, overly gamey lines, which are okay in moderation, but guys are constantly trying to one-up themselves because they're worried that if they're boring, the chick will just stop responding. But at some point, you have to be able to have a normal conversation. You have to be like, hey, how's your day going? Is actually a very powerful sentence as long as you use it sparingly, right? You're showing interest. So I think overgameness is a huge issue. I blame RSD for that and some other people. But anyway, so that's one issue. Second issue I see is neediness. So guys are just so needy. Like they have a hard time. Like they texted the girl, 30 minutes later, they're like, yo, what should I say? She's not responding. I'm like, don't say anything. She'll respond. He's like, but what if she doesn't? What should I say? I'm like, don't worry about it. Like, let's not think worst case scenario. Let's just wait and see. And if she doesn't respond in a few days, then we can revalidate the situation. And like 4 out of 5 times, the girl winds up responding anyway. So I think neediness is a huge part, huge issue I see. I would say third is guys just lack confidence in themselves, right? They're doubting themselves. They're doubting their ability to close. You know, they're overthinking it. Like, that's like, to me, like when I have a date, a girl's coming over. Yeah, maybe there's a little, especially if she's like really hot. I have a little bit of that like nagging anxiety in my stomach, just a little bit. I'm also excited. I'm like, yeah, I want to fuck this girl. Yeah, like this is gonna be fun. I'm not thinking like, oh no, what if this and this happens? I'm thinking more in terms of the upside rather than the downside. Yeah, of course, sometimes you do get anxiety and all that shit. That's normal. And I've been in the game for a while, so I'll probably have less anxiety than the average guy. But again, you want to think of the upside. Like at the end of the day, what's the worst that can happen? She's just not into you. Okay, you move on. Like that's really the worst case scenario when it comes to dating. What's your take on this, Afi? Like, what do you see are the biggest issues for guys who are dating?
That's an easy question, bro. And I'm gonna answer a sudden death, just real question, because I just happened to look at the cat. I'm gonna answer this question, and then I'm gonna bounce and give you 3 answers to the next question, and that's game right there. Because once you learn how to once you learn how to improvise, then that's that. Hey guys, you need to go to some improv classes, man. It'll teach you how to stay on your toes. And women find that to be attractive because they'll throw little shit tests to try to throw you off. And a lot of times you can't handle the shit test, but also it turns them off. You can't, when it turns women off when you can't handle their wit. But that's another story. But I see the question was, what's the 3 things? Oh, the first thing was I seen somebody ask, what's the key to getting every girl? Well, that's the main key is know that you can't get every girl. Once you fully understand this concept.
I want to get your opinion on this specific question. Like, what do you think is the most common problem in your students?
The most common problem, the 3 common problem is for one, fear of rejection. Guys try to master all this game and shit, and because they want a perfect score. You know how many times a woman left me on red before and shit too. I've been flaked on before, but the only difference is I care.
Everyone and anyone. Any dating coach who tells you that they don't get rejected, that everyone responds to them is fucking lying to you. Everyone gets rejected.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So I'm gonna say fear of rejection, one-itis. Guys feel like a woman is always a bonus to your life. They feel like if they meet the special one, they're complete now, bro. That's not true. There is no one, bro. The whole thing is you gotta find a one who you can build on. Guys just think they're just gonna just meet this chick they like. How you gonna meet the one? How you gonna meet a chick that knows all the shit you like, have all your principles and match unless you tell her first? It's like there's levels of Play-Doh. You can get some Play-Doh where you can work with, or you can get some Play-Doh you can't work with. There is no one. It don't matter how successful you get, you're not gonna find some women that completes you and shit. You have to be complete, and then she adds value to you. You know what I'm saying? Like man, and then there's woman. One man are there to assist a man. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm a Conan type dude, right? You remember Conan the Barbarian? You remember the movie poster? There was Conan, and then his white chick was there at his side.
Are you talking about the old Arnold one, the one that Schwarzenegger did?
Yeah, Arnold Schwarzenegger. Yeah, we are not tag team partners. I'm the man, and you're the chick. If you don't like that, then that's fine. So it's the fear of rejection, the one-itis, and not knowing themselves. Men want women to follow them, but they don't know where they're going. It's just a prime example. If you're dealing with a chick and she's like, "Hey, babe, you hungry?" And you say, "Yeah, I'm hungry." And she says, "What do you want to eat?" And you say, "Whatever you want to eat." See, that type of shit is gonna put you out. She want to be. Women they want you to be assertive, and they want you to have shit laid out for them because they're not. And then the fact that they're not used to it, they really get turned on.
That's very true. That's definitely very true.
Yeah. So fear of rejection, one-itis, and not knowing themselves are the 3. You know what I mean? Those are the 3 problems that I feel I get the most. Like dudes will be like, "Hey, bro, where should I take this girl?" Fool, just that. So if I'm getting needy, not confident energy from you, and I'm a dude, then I can only imagine the energy that you give your women. You know what I'm saying? It's turning her off. See, the thing is that's why I don't like telling guys. Like guys be sending me screenshots of their text threads and be telling me, "What should I say?" And I be telling them, "Man, say what you want," because I can tell you the magic words, but you're not gonna have the same energy and confidence that I have when I say it. If I say if I tell a girl, "Hey, come over," like let's use an example. So say I meet a girl, right, and I flake on her. I'll be smooth and finesse with her. I'll tell her, "Hey," she'll be like, "Oh, you flaked on me." I say, "Hey, my bad. I'm never saying I'm sorry. That's the keynote. I'm not saying I'm sorry to
My
a chick.
bad. I was just
I'll
fucking
acknowledge it. Hey, yeah. Hey, my bad. How about you come over today and I'll give you a foot rub until it puts you to sleep. See, now I'm talking sex to her without saying sex anything. Right? So even though I fucked up, I'm putting something on the table that's enticing to her.
Yeah. Yeah.
Women love they feeling, bro.
I agree with pretty much everything you just said. So, all right. So next question. By the way, I don't mean to annoy you with so many questions in the PWF forum. I just get eager to apply advice and learn from your mistakes. No worries, Mark. It's all good. Did you ever struggle in your early stage experience with online dating? How frustrating was that? How do you manage to take all the obstacles that you made successful as it is today? For sure. I definitely struggled. Like first of all, I thought online game was bullshit when I first got into pickup. I bought into like the propaganda that online is not real game, right? My philosophy now is if your penis goes inside a vagina without you actually paying the girl for sex, then it was a real game. But anyway, so I used to, first of all, I didn't believe in it. Then when I did finally decide to give it a shot, I didn't know what I was doing. At that time, there was no playing with fire for me to watch very detailed tutorials and just, basically apply. Like there was nothing like that. So, a lot of it was trial and error. And it was definitely frustrating. Like, getting flaked on is obviously not fun, especially when you don't have a lot of options and you don't have that abundance mindset yet. But how do I manage it? Just the same way I tackle like pretty much anything. I just first of all, I try to seek out resources and learn from people who are doing successfully. And fortunately for you guys, you have literally on the channel, and between that and my product, you have literally every possible thing you need to know about online game and more. You got great resources like Afi, you have like so much shit, so yeah, so that's so you basically, I modeled successful people, I did research, and then I just wasn't afraid to fail. I did a lot of trial and error. Like some things work better for me, some things that, for example, work well for other guys, like don't work as well for me. So it was also a lot of trial and error. I mean, it was frustrating, but like at the end of the day, you have to think of it. This is how I think of it. I will not be happy in my life if I'm not having a great sex life, right? Like it's necessary for me to have a great sex life for me to feel fulfilled. Like I can't be happy just jerking off at home on a Friday night. Like if I was, then I probably wouldn't be doing what I do now. But I can't. I need attractive women in my life. That's something that makes me smile on the inside. So I'm willing to go through the frustration because to me, there's no other option. And it gets to a point where it becomes less and less frustrating as you get more abundance in your life. So, when you have like 3 or 4 booty calls, if a chick flakes on you, it's not that big of a deal because you can just hit one of them up and then 20 minutes later you're getting laid. So as a result of that, you're more willing to take risks. And as a result, because you're more willing to take risks, you have more success. So once you get to that abundance, like a lot of issues just start to take care of themselves. What do you think, man?
Did you see? I'm older, guys. So when by the time my early stage of online dating is Black Planet. So y'all don't even know what that is.
You say Black Planet?
And then MySpace. Yeah, MySpace and then High Five.
I've never heard of that.
So because it's 90s stuff, bro. Remember, I graduated in 99.
Yeah,
I'm an older guy. Yeah, so look, so by the time
99, I was 9 years old. I was riding my bike and playing fucking flag football.
See, I'm your OG. Hey, I love to help. Any advice you ever want, you can always hit me up off camera too. And
dude, but I think there's a big benefit because the fact that you're older, because I think there's a lot of guys, for example, maybe they got married when they were young and they're in their late 30s, early 40s, and then they just got divorced and they think that they're fucked because they're older. So it's good to I like having older guys on, not to say you're old or anything, like 39 is still fucking young, but like I like having guys who are older because it gives guys who are struggling like hope. It's like, oh shit, well, if this guy can do it, like I can do it too. Like some guys literally, dude, I get posts and messages like, hey man, I'm 25. Am I too old to get good at this shit? I'm like, no, dude, you're 25. Like I wasn't even getting, just getting started. I was 25. Like, hey man, I'm 21. Is it too late for me? Like, no. Like, what are you talking about? So, yeah, man.
I'm even add another leg to that camel real fast. Y'all can put it in the chat, hashtag one shot Afi, because it only took me one time. Same thing with this. You know how I stopped caring about the online game? When I created a profile and pretend to be a woman and I got 80 messages plus in one day. I tried this with POF, Plenty of Fish. So I made up a fake profile. I got like 80 plus messages. Cold part was I didn't even I was going to add the profile pic. But I mean, what do I need to add the profile pic for? I see what I already seen, what I need to see. So it just lets me know that women, what they deal with. So like a lot of times women aren't ignoring you, bro. They just got a lot of fucking guys hitting them up.
Yes.
You have to be, yeah, it's not even, they might look at your picture and be like, oh, he's hot. But then they might see another hot guy in 30 minutes on a boat.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
dude,
that's how I learned. I pretend to be a woman, and I seen the abundance. I see why they have that abundance mindset.
Yes.
Because if I don't even put a picture up, just imagine what the hot girls go through.
Yeah, I mean, 100%. When I was creating the PWF product, part of my research was actually doing the same thing you just mentioned. I created Tinder as a girl, and I just wanted to see what kind of openers guys were using. What kind of abundance does an above average girl get? And yeah, it was insane, dude. Like 100 matches in like a few hours, like everyone just blowing up. But there's definitely a lot of value in that. Like I learned that most guys, when it comes to opening girls, they're either, super boring or they're super gamey, or they're, trying really hard. There's like very few guys who are just like smooth and straightforward. So there's like a lot of value in doing that. I talk about that in more detail in some of my other videos. So yeah, it's definitely very interesting to see from a girl's perspective. Dude, I used to have my Venezuelan girlfriend. This was like 2 years ago. One day we decided, because she knew about what I did and shit. We decided that would be funny if she created a Tinder just to see what kind of results she gets. She put she was a hot chick for sure, but she put 2 pictures up. Neither one of them really showed off her body, which she had like a fucking, big fucking fake tits and shit, but like, you couldn't even see it in the pictures. And dude, literally, I think within a day, she cracked 100 matches. Guys were inviting her out. Like, hey, man, I have a table with Jay-Z. Like, shit like that. Like, oh, we're like DJ Khaled is going to be here. Like, they were inviting her to like these crazy events. Like, so that's your competition. So again, like, it's not, I agree with you. So it's not that the girl's deliberately ignoring you. It's not that you're ugly. It's that you have a lot of competition. That's the marketplace you live in.
A lot of competition, bro.
That's why when you travel to other
places, I can't even emphasize on that.
When you travel to Colombia, you have less competition.
Yeah, you guys got it so easy, bro. Don't you realize when I was in high school, we didn't even have online dating. Let me take it back. We had this thing called the party line, bro. Look, first off, it would take you hella long to get through. So you would have to call this joint 50 times to get through. Then once you got through, what happens was there would be a group chat with a group of people in there talking, and then you would go through profiles. It's hella funny, right? So I'm just going through these profiles. So that even me. So I'm like, yo, this is Afi Tariq, 6 foot, 250. No, not 250. 250, 6 foot, 215. I'm a Gemini. If this interests you, hit code 707. We would have to do that. So then, right. So you didn't even have access to the women at first. You had to pre-qualify each other before y'all even talk. So then she hears that. So then she'll push 707. Then she'll be like, oh, hey, Afi Tariq. This is Susan. I like your profile. I'm 5'5", green eyes, and a nice round bottom. If you like what you hear, press 761. Then I got to go press 761. And then, hey, if you guys want to go live chat, then it'll be like, Susan requests to go live chat with you one-on-one. Then I gotta accept it. So that's what I'm saying. This is how come I've mastered the shit. Cause look at the legwork I had to put in as a child. I couldn't just like chicks and get numbers. I couldn't just sit in high school in class and just like females pictures all day. Like I would literally have to catch the bus and go from school to school if I wanted access to other women other than the school I went to. I couldn't just get on Facebook and type in shit Skyline High and just see whatever. You know what I mean?
Dude, but part of me wishes that I could take, what I know now and go back to like the late 90s, early 2000s when like online was just becoming a thing and like fucking crush it just because, like I would be so much ahead of the competition. So I would actually, if I could like pay money to travel back in time and do that, like I would 100% do that. Because, it's like when online, like when Tinder first came on the scene, if I could travel back and just fucking like have my profile I have now and put it there, like, or in the early MySpace days before cold DMing was popular, when girls were like, actually, oh, wow, he's messaging me in Instant Messenger. That's so cool. And now it's like, oh, my God. So, yeah, like, that would be fucking awesome.
None of this instant gratification, bro. Look, bro, when I met a chick back in the day, not now, obviously, So if I got a chick's number after school, I literally couldn't talk to her until 9, 10 o'clock at night. There were no cell phones. You couldn't just text me right now. It was none of that shit. You got the pen and paper and you wrote the number and you had to wait until after 9 for the free minutes. And if you got brothers and sisters in the house, you might wasn't getting using the phone that night. So not only did that build anticipation for you, huh?
Do you remember AIM, AIM Messenger, like AIM? That was like the first chat before Facebook. I think it was like AOL.
Oh, America Online.
Yeah, dude. But do you ever feel like there's some advantages to like those days? Like part of me is like I'm kind of happy I grew up, you know, before like really social media, like because we went outside, we played, we like fucking did shit. Like I feel like I don't know, it's almost like kids nowadays are getting fucked up because of like there's like everything's too virtual. You know, I don't think that's natural.
Yeah. See, I have an advantage, bro, because see the difference between me and a lot of guys is when I was younger, I had to put myself in position to get rejected. There was no passive approaching like that. Either you had to put on your big boy pants, you seen a girl you like, your friends would make you like, go talk to her, go talk to her. Did you get her?
Yeah.
And the more experience that I had, the more that I learned. You know what I'm saying? I couldn't just sit back and just wait for women and shit to come to me. I had to, if I seen a hot chick, if I didn't go talk to her, I might not see her again. I couldn't just go see like right now. So say if I see a hot chick, say I'm at a party, right? I'm at Live or whatever place you want to put. Well, then I can just go to Live on Facebook or Instagram, use the hashtag and see everyone was there and find a profile like that. And that's just finesse game I just taught y'all right there. You can find people through hashtags. If you are older and you want doctors, well then use doctor shit in your hashtags, and then the women gonna come up and like that shit.
Oh, dude, that's interesting. So just searching hashtags. Like what hashtags do you recommend?
Just anything that you like. Anything you like, you know, certain those little groupie Instagram, they're always using Insta Daily, photo for photo, like they always use that type of shit.
Asses. Yeah.
You know, like nurses, nurse life, teacher life, like that kind of shit. You know what I mean?
Dude, that's a good idea. I'm gonna actually do that. That's actually pretty interesting. All right, so next question. I don't have my Instagram connected to any of my dating app profiles. Do you think I should? Really depends on whether you have good Instagram.
If it's good.
Yeah, if it's good, connected.
Yeah, if it's good. Yeah. Hey, real quick, bro.
Sure,
you guys, quit saying your Instagram ain't popping, bro. When you have 71 followers in 3 posts and you get left on red, of course you're gonna get left on red. You don't have nothing that's attractive to a woman, bro. Look, I had a guy like, man, these chicks ain't never. Yeah, bro, you got 2 pictures up only, bro. What do you think?
One of them is you taking a shit.
Yeah, you got 2 pictures. You don't have nothing for them to chase, nothing for them to want. You know, you don't have to have a million, but at least if you don't have a lot of followers, at least post active stories and shit. Because when women go to your profile, sometimes they see you haven't posted and they don't see that ring around your name, around your avatar, where they think this is a dead profile.
Yeah, that's true.
Just like if you go to YouTube, if you go to somebody's YouTube channel and you see they uploaded 6 months ago, you're not gonna subscribe even if the video is good. It's not active.
Right. I mean, I think that followers are pretty easy because you can just buy followers, but really it comes down to having posts. Like I see sometimes guys, they buy followers, but they have like 6 posts and they have 10,000 followers. Like that just doesn't make sense, you know, like unless you're a celebrity, it has to be reasonable.
Women know how to spot that shit because they do it too.
Yeah. Well, honestly,
that's how they know when you got fake followers. She has a fake followers. Yeah.
Her ass, and she'll get more followers.
Yeah, if they go to your followers, bro, and everybody on there got no name and shit, and French names in different languages, and there's no American, then they know your followers is fake, bro.
Yeah.
Don't matter if you got 50,000 of them.
All right, let's go to the next question. So it will help social proof. Okay, he was just answering. Any advice on how to get over my current MILF phase? Been smashing nothing but plus 35-year-olds for the past year. I'm 22 and I feel like I need to snap out already. Well, are you trying to snap out of it because you feel like you should, or because you actually want to fuck younger girls? Like, there's nothing wrong with being into MILFs. I went through a MILF phase myself where I just fucked MILFs a lot. Like, I'll still fuck MILFs. Like, there's nothing wrong with it. It just comes down to why are you trying to snap out of it? Is it because you're like, you know what? I'm fucking, you know, sabotaging myself because I think I'm not good enough to get young girls, or is it because you fucking like milfs, you know? So, but in terms of like how to actually have it, just force yourself to go for younger girls. Simple as that. Like set your Tinder to 18 to 25. Don't approach any girls who look like they're over like 30. You know, like it can really be as simple as that.
Yeah, bro. Don't feel bad. I like MILFs too, because guess
I
what?
love milfs.
But y'all, maybe y'all too young. I used to like the Cosby Show, and there was a woman on there named Felicia Rashad who was Claire Huxtable. And when I seen her, I wanted a woman like that. See, I like women that are professional and shit, women who I can learn
Yeah.
from, women who
Yeah.
got their own houses and shit and good credit. So that's why I like the MILFs. You know what I'm saying? Because they can teach me stuff, like a lot of stuff. Like I learned credit from a woman. I learned real estate shit from a woman. See, my ego's not too out of control where I feel like, even though I feel like I'm higher than a woman, I can still learn from them and
Yeah, I
even
mean,
apply the knowledge that they have better for myself.
I think that's a healthy mindset to have. Again, it goes back to what I was saying earlier. No, like a true red pill dude would not be saying that. They'd be like, I have nothing to learn from a woman. Women are not going to, you know, like. But I think that's a good mindset to have. Like, yeah, of course. Like anyone who's doing something good in life, you can learn from them. Like I'm totally down to learn from whoever, as long as they, you know, they're doing something correct. Like if they have the results. Like, I'm not gonna learn fitness from a guy who is skinnier than me. But if a guy's really jacked, I don't care if he's 50 or 18. Like there's something I can learn from him about fitness probably. So if a guy's really rich, it's probably some things I can learn about him about money management, you know, finance. Doesn't matter, guy, girl, whatever, you know. So yeah, I definitely agree with that.
That you got to be a student of the game,
Yeah, I
always
mean,
willing to learn.
when you stop learning, that's when you kind of just start like your results in life just stales out. Like you always have to like I'm always trying to learn, like try new shit, like just you know learn perpetually learning. Doesn't mean you have to go to university or something, but you know just learning from like every day there's learning opportunities, just talking to people, you know whatever, like reading books, like all that shit. All right, how do you persist with text messaging, whether the girl not writing back, and how many times do you keep persisting until you'll find it to be not worth the time? Honestly, for me personally, I think this might be the one thing that you and I have different answers for. But for me personally, it comes down to several factors. How attractive is the girl? Like, is she my 7 or is she my 10? Right, that's going to be a factor. 2, was she investing early in the conversation? So is this a chick who's always been flaky, or for example, she was really into me earlier, but then she slowly dropped off? Okay, that's going to be a totally different situation, because then it means she probably has some unanswered concern or objection, or maybe if I can just get her on the phone, I can reignite things. Versus if a chick was never invested, then I'm not going to try that hard. 3, what I'm doing in my life. Like, do I have like way more booty calls than these I came up with, or did I just move to a new place and I'm actually, like kind of like starting fresh or something like that? So it's going to come down to several things. Honestly, it's like sending a text takes 5 seconds, right? So sometimes guys will be like, dude, how do you have all this time in the world to persist with these girls? Like, dude, I spend, that's like this thing I spend the least amount of time on. I spend way more time like talking to family and friends than I do fucking texting girls. I'm at the gym 3 hours like pretty much every day. I'm fucking working like numerous at like 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 hours making these videos and all that shit. So texting girls is actually, even though I'm very persistent, you'll see my interactions. It doesn't take that long to send a text. Like, I'll do it when I'm fucking walking to the gym, in between sets, like shit, whatever. There's all these idle opportunities in your life when you can do bullshit like text a girl. It's not like I'm like, all right, 9 p.m. Friday night, let me grab a beer, smoke a joint, and do my texting for the night. It's like it doesn't really work like that. So, what's your take on this?
I'm gonna say what y'all don't like, man. Fire that shit. Get another one. Look, I teach that principle. Don't ever double text, because double text turns to triple text, and then triple text turns into scarcity desperation mode. It starts off as a double text. It turns into a triple text. Then that triple text turns into booking a consultation with one of us. Because after that third text that you send, it's gonna push them away a little bit. So if I send a girl a text and she don't respond to me, then I'm not gonna respond to her at all. What I will do, because every woman who I interact with, if I can, I get their social media. So then I may remind her with a like or some shit like that. Or if she posts a story, I'll put a 100 in there or some shit. So then she'll be like, oh, okay. So now I'm giving her the opportunity to come to me again. But yeah, there's no double texting for me, bro. I won't
do you find that part of it?
Just one thing. I remember when one time a girl broke up with me, bro, and it wasn't a heartbreak, it was an ego break. So what happened was it broke my ego, and we broke up, and it wasn't on my terms. So it had me spending these long ass text messages that were stupid. And even when we got back together, she was tickled by it. So me, I'm like, oh, wait a minute. Not to her. That's another thing. Don't always express what you think. They don't always need to know what you're thinking. So in my head, I'm thinking, oh God, oh, you fucking breezy. Now, when I was doing all them heart to heart, hear me out messages, you thought that was funny? In my head, I'm thinking this. Oh, okay, I'll never do that again. So, but the thing is, I never even confirmed that to her. We got back together and we just had a casual conversation, and she was saying, "Yeah, you was being super thirsty, leaving me these paragraphs." I was like, "Oh, for real, I was bugging." But as I'm just casually saying it, I'm thinking to myself, "Never, I'll do it again. Never." Not only did I get rejected, she thought it was funny. I'm not gonna put myself in a position to where you think I'm funny unless I'm telling the jokes.
Let me ask you this: do you find that a part of the reason for your no double text policy is because of ego?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's ego.
Yeah.
Because now, well, just real quick, because now, see, it's not like back in the day when a woman texts me, and if I text her, she forgets to text me back. When she initiates conversation again, she can see where the conversation ended. It's not like back in the day if I just send somebody a message, oh yeah, I forgot to call, I forgot you text me. No, you didn't, because it says 7-11 on August 8th. I hit you up and said, hey baby, good morning. You ain't say shit. It's not I forgot. Even if you forgot, when you pick up the phone, oh, so you better be acknowledging, oh hey, my bad, Afi, I've been busy and stuff, but hey, what's up? You have to acknowledge the fact that you didn't get back to me. You don't have to like get on your knees and say, baby, please, but you have to acknowledge it. Like if a woman flakes on me, she can't flake on me and then just call me the next day and be like, hey, you want to kick it? No, hello. What happened yesterday? You have to acknowledge. You don't have to necessarily even apologize, but you have to acknowledge, because what happens is when you let them get away with that type of stuff, that's when your respect goes down, and that's when they start shit testing you even more. It's the same way how a woman asks you.
I agree with that part, man. I agree with that part. So yeah, you have to be able to call things out. You can't just constantly be like a pushover. So I definitely agree with that part. Here's kind of my perspective.
But you don't have to check them like, but just check them like, hey, there's some shit now.
Like a friend. Like if a friend does something you don't like, you're trying to be like, hey man, like that wasn't cool. Like you're not gonna be like, oh, you're such a bad friend, unless you're like a little bitch. You're generally gonna acknowledge it. It's the same way. Like when my dog does something I don't like, I have a fucking Siberian Husky. When he like fucking pisses inside the apartment, I don't hold a grudge against it. I don't like make him like fucking beg for my forgiveness. I just fucking say, yo, Rhaegar, what the fuck? Don't fucking piss inside the apartment, you fucking animal, you little creature. So here's my perspective on the double triple texting. So if you go through my, I have well over 100 layer boards with all the screenshots from start to finish, on mine and this YouTube channel. So if you go through my layer boards, you'll notice two things. First of all, that I'm not needy at all. Like that's a big part of my game. It's just not being needy, right? Like and honestly, part of that is just like I don't give a shit. Like at this point, to me, getting one more lay just really doesn't matter. Like I'm okay if I don't get laid tonight. It just doesn't affect me that much. I'm much more focused on other things in my life. So part of that is I do have like an underlying level of abundance. Part of that is self-taught. I had to basically teach myself, like reprogram my conscious not to be needy. But another thing you're going to notice is I'm very persistent. So I have no problem double, triple, quadruple texting if I need to. And this is the way my mind works. I don't give a shit what the girl thinks. I'm all about basically
as long as you know what time it is.
Yeah, I'm about. I want to get like I'm going for what I want. I'll be persistent. Like sales definitely was like a big part of it. So I did sales for 2 years. I was one of the top salesmen in my company. I was very persistent with my prospects, right? Like sometimes they'd be like, yeah, I need to think about it. Okay, cool. I'll follow up with them. Then I'll follow up with them again. It's not like I was begging for them to buy the product. I didn't give a shit, but I wanted to it was like almost like a sport for me. So I wanted to get the sale. So I kind of treat, basically banging a girl the same way. Like I'm not going to be needy. And a big part of that is also the timing. So if you're double texting her, 3 hours later, your chances are you're going to be needy. But if you're double texting her 3 days or 4 days later, then that same exact text is going to have a different effect. So part of that is just being patient with the timing. So yeah, like for me, I think this.
Oh no, I just want to add to that. If you do double text, just start a new conversation. Don't start it like, "Hey, did you get my?" Don't do it like that. Just, hey, did I just see you? No. Oh, anyways, boom. What's up?
Yeah, I find that also there's like general takeaways that work well for me. So for example, let's say I'm chatting with a girl and it's going well, and I'm like, we should get together sometime soon, right? I'm trying to close her, and she doesn't respond. 3 or 4 days later, I might say, if you're too nervous, I'd understand, which is a takeaway. At that point, the chick will be like, no, sorry, I'm not nervous. I just got busy. Yeah, we should get together, right? So I find that's a very powerful text. Say I tell a girl, text me, right? And she never does. A week later, I might double text her and say, don't be shy. She's like, haha, I'm not shy. So I find takeaways are really effective. If a chick is being flaky, I will say, I genuinely didn't take you for the flaky type. And that text is really powerful because a lot of chicks will be like, oh shit, like no girl wants to be known as a flake, or very few girls, So they're like, oh shit, like I don't want to be the flaky type. So basically you're creating a role that she has to fit into. So I find that shit is very powerful. Memes can be pretty powerful. There's like a lot of shit like that.
Yeah, you got to realize too, like certain guys, some women are just flaky. If they're not flaking on you, they're just fucking flaky, period. They flake on their friends, they flake on their mama, they flake on their daughter and their kids. Like they just have a problem sticking to one thing. So I would suggest, man, don't take shit so personally. That's for one thing. For two, man, you gotta get yourself busy, bro. Because when you're super busy, just like right now, like I'm on here. When I get off of here, I'm catching a flight. When I catch off a flight, I'm gonna meet up with my big bro who creates content, and we gonna create some content. So, like for instance, me, I have the Afi Kingdom podcast on YouTube. Then I have the International Afi podcast on Spotify. I got Mukbang, Talking to Strangers Food Review. I have Expert Level Wrestling channel because I like wrestling. I have the Expert Level Gaming channel, which is gaming videos where I have to edit and do all this shit.
You're hustling.
And then I have my Instagram. So what I'm saying is I'm so busy. Sometimes I don't notice the shit because I always got something to do. So the more you worry about flaking and it affects you much because you're actually waiting. See, if I text a woman 2 hours ago, if she texts me back, cool, but I'm not sitting around her waiting her because guess what I'm doing? On my way to the airport. As soon as I get to the airport, I'm on an interview. See, I'm on my purpose. I could have told my man, hey, you know what? I'm flying out of town. Let's do it when I get back. No, this is a part of my purpose. I'm a YouTuber and a content creator. So I got to get shit done when it's supposed to be done. I ain't say, hey, you know what? I'm going, let me hit you on Thursday when I get back. No. I confirm that I'm going to do something. I'm going to do it. I don't have time to be looking at my phone, seeing who did what when, because guess what? Not all that things that I have. Then I'm getting emails. Then I'm getting guys DMing me text threads and stuff like that, asking me audio questions. I don't have time to keep up with women who are not interested in me.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, first of all,
I do that by keeping myself busy.
Yeah, having a purpose and being busy is just generally very attractive to women. Like women don't like a guy who's like too available or has like nothing going in his life. Like women hate. Like I think this is a big reason why marriages end. Guy gets married and then he makes his purpose the woman, and the woman does not find that attractive. Your purpose cannot be women. It has to be. You have to have a purpose outside of just busting a nut. And again, like believe me, I fucking love sex. I love fucking girls. Like it's a huge part of what I do, but it's not my main purpose. I have a lot of other shit going in my life, like this channel. So yeah, for sure. I definitely agree with that. Like a lot of problems take care of themselves when you have like a purpose. Like for example, a lot of guys are sweating. Like what if she doesn't respond? What if she doesn't respond? But if you're so busy with something you're passionate about, you're not even thinking about that. And then before you know it, she actually does respond. So I agree with that. Like a lot of these problems take care of themselves when you're just on your shit. All right, so I've had mixed results with it. Like generally it shows you know how to pace, but with one really conservative guy, I had trouble initiating. I'm not really sure what he's talking about. So yeah, Carlos, just elaborate on that because I'm not sure what you're talking about. How to respond when she opens with stop staring at his body, stop staring at his body. Oh hi, not sure. I should. So I guess that's what the girl. Messaged him on Tinder. I mean, there's numerous ways you can go about this. You can one up that. You can say, yeah, girl, God, buy me a drink first with a devil face or something like that. Or you could say, wait until you see it in 3D, something like that. There's numerous directions, like just fun and flirty. What's your take on that?
I don't really understand the question.
So okay, so he's some chick. So he probably has a shirtless picture on Tinder, and some chick opens to him with "Stop staring at his body, stop staring at his body. Oh hi." Like, so she's basically making a joke about like why she's attracted to him.
Oh yeah, she's using the passive approach. She don't want to be rejected. So so just make it easy for women. Make the experience when you deal with a woman comfortable, and that's what keeps them coming back.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I'm saying? If you hit her with a one-word answer or a text, and she's gonna feel discouraged, and she's not gonna reach out anymore. So make the positive.
You don't want to be too hard to get. Yeah, I agree with that. All your texts should be easy to respond to, because girls don't like thinking a lot. So if you really if she starts, especially in the beginning, like if you're saying something that she just doesn't know how to respond to, she'll take the path of least resistance and just not respond at all. So yeah, for sure. All right, what's the best strategy for Tinder? So that's a very, very, very general question that I can make numerous videos on. But fortunately, I already have a lot of content on this. So just check out, my how to pick, my video on pictures, my video on bio, my video on text game, and your answer will be a combination of all of that. Do you have any?
Personally, I only use Tinder when I go out the country, because they're more receptive to that when you go out the country than here. See, here I kind of look for women who I can keep around. I don't really just need new lays here and there, because I have a constant rotation.
What percentage?
So I look for women like to keep. And Tinder are just chicks who want to hook up for the most part. I don't want to just hook up with chicks. I want to see what's up with them.
Dude, it really runs the gamut. There's chicks who want to just hook up. There's chicks who want a fuck buddy. There's chicks who want marriage. There's like I find that there's really everything on Tinder. But how do you mostly meet girls? Is it mostly from cold approach? Or warm approach, as we call it? Is it mostly from Instagram? Like, what's your roughly speaking, what's your breakdown?
Just everywhere, bro. I'm like MacGyver, bro. I call myself Guyver.
Come on, bro. You're gonna have more of an answer than that. Like, generally speaking, like, do you find it's mostly from just like whatever you meet girls in your day-to-day life, or what's, like, roughly speaking, like, what's your breakdown?
I just don't pass up on opportunities, bro. I see everything as opportunities, and I'm also advanced game. So let me just break some advanced game down for you. So say if I meet a chick in here, I can meet her and actually get the girl that I want through her. So I might meet a chick and she could be decent, and she can say, okay, look, this is the type of interaction that I've had. So say I'm meeting a chick right now. Now I'm not that I'm attracted to her, but she has intellectual conversation. Come find out she's a principal, and I'm going to school to be a principal. So I'm going to fuck with her. I see the fact that I don't want to have sex with her. I'm still going to keep her around for the resource. And then through that resource, I might get put on to one of her teacher friends that's super hot where she works. See, I think I got vision. I look forward like that. I don't need instant gratification. You know what I'm saying? If I'm trying to write a book, well, I'm gonna meet an editor chick, and she's gonna edit my books. See, I don't even have to have sex with her for that. I'm into the resources, and just how can a woman help me out?
You'll fuck with her.
And I use my sex as a weapon. Yeah, I use my sex as a weapon. So my sex is basically validating her. You did something good, you can get the D now. And I'm strict on that. The only time I'm a little lenient with the D is when I go out of town, and that's why I call it sudden death mode, because it doesn't really matter. I'm only going to be in your presence for 2 or 3 days. So hey, you like a basketball player? Hey, I'm a small forward. You like football? Hey, I'm a running back. Whatever the fuck you want, because I know that I'm not going to take you home with me. We're going to talk, and then we're going to do whatever we do. And then once I go home, I'm going to have my life, and you're going to have your life. And if we're going to continue to talk, all we're going to do is be in honeymoon phase and just give each other's highlights over the phone and video chat, because we're actually a part of each other's life. It's easy to love from a distance.
Let me rephrase.
Your representative is the full image.
Yeah, I mean, I think everything you said was pretty true. That's the hallmark of extreme abundance, right? Like, you're not going to be able to do that if you're in scarcity, but if you have a lot of abundance, you can do shit like that. Well, okay, so when was the last time? I'm going to rephrase the question a little bit. When was the last time you fucked a new girl?
The last time I fucked a new girl,
Yeah, roughly speaking.
it been some months, but I took a break on purpose because I told myself I want to put these 2 books out, so I'm not gonna have sex with no chicks until I'm a published author.
Well,
See, I
I'm
had to take
assuming
something.
I'm
I
assuming
had
you're
to
still
take something
fucking your
away
booty
from me
calls.
to gain something, huh?
I'm assuming you're still like fucking your booty calls, right?
Yeah, but right now I'm working on my 3rd book.
Right.
Bro, I smashed
Okay.
a lot
Okay.
of
So
chicks,
I
dude.
guess I guess the point.
I literally smashed 100 chicks 20 years ago. When I was in
Yeah.
high school and I graduated, I had already smashed 100 chicks then, and that was 21 years ago. I've had my share, brother. I went through my 100 chicks a year phases where I was strategically banging 2 chicks a week. That way I could hit that number every year. Like I've been there. That's how come I can be so nonchalant because I've smashed any and everything for years. But then I've had girlfriends too. See, a lot of guys are players, but they know how to seduce women, but they don't know how to deal with women. On top of smashing a lot of chicks, I've had girlfriends and live-in situations too. So I learned how to understand how women work, even when they get used to you from having those experiences.
So
You
I
know.
get what you're saying, and I'm also in a sense I'm not nearly as extreme about that as you, but generally speaking, like the more you fuck, the less like pussy starts to lose its appeal. Like you start focusing more on other aspects of your life, and pussy is just a byproduct. So I get what you're saying. Now, the purpose of the question though was to figure out, okay, so the last chick that you fucked that was new, how did you meet her? Did she slide into your DMs? Was it at the airport? Like I want because I think a lot of guys are gonna be
Oh,
watching this and they're thinking
DMs,
like, this guy seems smooth,
Facebook,
but what are
yeah,
the details?
like DMs, Facebook, like say for instance, if it's a hot chick and everybody is saying how hot she is in her comments, whatever, right? I'll get under the comments and put a broken heart emoji. I don't mean anything by it, but it's gonna catch her attention. She's gonna look at him like, why he's not following asleep with the validation train.
Mm. So
In Instagram, excuse me, direct messages we go. Like, what that mean? Or I could put the thinking face, and she'll DM me then. What's that supposed to mean? Shit like that. It'd be easy, but I just have the mindset that to do it. You know, guys
right.
can think of do this stuff. They don't want to risk losing out on new pearl or new meat, so they're not gonna do it.
Yeah, I
But
think
I
that's
get
part
my
of it.
picks on control. Yeah.
I think to be honest, a lot of guys just don't know what they should do. I do think that part of the fear of missing out is part of it. I think what you know what funny thing I've noticed with guys who are more naturals, especially if they're coaches, sometimes they have a hard time, I guess, like explaining. So they get laid a lot, but they have a hard time explaining why what they do works. Because I had this. So I had one of my big mentors was this guy who I went to college with. I talked about him a lot. You know, he was like the smoothest natural I've ever met, right? And just going out with him in college, I learned so much. It took my game from like 0 to like a 5, you know, just like watching this guy. But one thing that he really struggled with, like he could fuck girls to no end, but he had a really hard time explaining why what he was doing worked. So I was like, Saul, oh fuck, I just name dropped it. All right, let's pretend like I didn't do that. So I was like, hey man, like, what did you say to that girl to get her to fuck you? And he couldn't really explain that well. So I think that's one thing that's like I've noticed is that guys who are more natural, like they have a hard time, like they know what they do works, but they have a hard time putting it into words because to them it just all seems so
You
easy.
know, you know why that is because we're good at reading people. So I can't necessarily always break down the situation for you because the situation was based on the energy between the conversation between me and the woman. So I can break it down, but you can't see the way she looked at me and kind of bit her lip a little bit. You can't see when I'm talking to her how I see her fiddling around her water bottle and shit like that. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? I know those cues. I know the cues to elaborate. See, some guys don't know the cues. Like a lot of time women say no, 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 they mean it. Sometimes they say no, 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 they want you to keep going. But some cats don't know the difference.
Right.
Sometimes no means yes, and sometimes no really means no. And you have to have the experience and be on the field to know the cues, know the tone. Just like women, when women want something, their tone is different when they ask you, babe, or all that babe shit, babe, zaddy, all that. They want something. It's just like a kid. I teach elementary, so I'm used to kids buttering up to me to ask me for shit. Oh, Mr. C, can I? Their whole tone. Can I go over recess? Early? Their whole shit. That's the way women do it.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
it's their vibe. It's not what they say. It's their vibe, their energy, how they say it, how they look at you, their tone. You know what I'm saying? It's all
Yeah.
of that.
I know what you're getting at. All right, let's go to the next question. So, what do you guys do? You got a little bit more time, man, or you stuck for time?
I
When's your
got
flight?
like 10 more minutes.
All right, cool. Let's go for 10 more minutes then. So, what do you guys do with a girl that says, "I only give my number out to guys I met before"? Uh, okay, so if she says that on Tinder, then she's an idiot because the whole point of Tinder is, I would just say, so you're planning on meeting me how, dot, dot, dot. But honestly, if a girl says that to you on Tinder, it means she's a time waster 99% of the time. Now, I would just I would just troll her. But honestly, that chick is going to be a waste of time, so just move the fuck on. That's one situation where I say it's okay to move on because that chick is going to be a waste of time.
Yeah, see, sometimes women will show you who they are, but just you want to look at her differently. Like sometimes chicks are just sketchy, bro. Just because a woman's hot doesn't mean she has good qualities.
Yeah.
She's just hot.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean she's smart. Doesn't mean she's intelligent. And I seen somebody asking how I hooked up with the girl. I explained to you, bro. When I'm with the woman, I told you how I met her. I can't really unpack how I slept with her because it's like I just fed off her energy, bro. It's the same way when you watch a movie. So when you watch a movie like Fatal Attraction, movies like that, from the tone of the movie, you can tell what happens next. So from the tone of the woman I'm dealing with, I can tell what's gonna happen next or what needs to be applied. But also, like I said, the key to it is knowing I can't get every single woman, but I'm okay with it.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's a good mindset. Do you ever watch the TV show Californication?
I'm familiar with it, but never watched it.
I think, in my opinion, that like in terms of TV and movies, like the main character, Hank Moody, is like the best example of what good game is. Like watching, I'm actually going to do a video on this soon, but like that character, Hank Moody, is like the epitome of what I think solid game should look like. That's one of my favorite. When guys ask me, what should I watch, to learn game, I say Californication. All right, so let's get to this question. Have you guys had any experience with non-English speaking women? If so, how much different is it? Yes, of course, plenty. I've traveled a good amount. I'm sure you have plenty of that as well. It really depends on where. Not all non-English speakers are not the same. Is she from South America? Is she from Eastern Europe? Is she from Thailand? Is she from Russia? Like, there's going to be huge cultural differences based on what kind of non-English speaker she is. Wouldn't say it's that different. Women are women. Women are generally speaking attracted to. Of course, culturally, there's going to be some. One culture will stress this quality more. One culture will stress that quality more. Some things that are cool in one culture will not be cool in another culture. Like, for example, with Asian girls, there's a big anti-slut shaming. So if you go to China and you start sexting girls on Tinder, you're not going to have good success, right? You have to be a little bit more low-key over there. It's just, for example, if you go to Brazil, if you don't start kissing the girl, if you go on a date with a Brazilian girl and you don't kiss her within 30 minutes, she's going to think you're gay. Like, it's just these cultural differences. So that's kind of like my answer to that. What's your take on this?
Yeah, of course I dealt with non-speaking English chicks. Let me tell you guys a secret. Women understand sexual vibe, bro. They understand that when a woman's hot and she thinks she wants to have sex with you, she'll let it be known to you. Not always off the top, but it's a always flirty little thing. You know what I mean? Like it's just like, okay, so if I say hi to a chick, she can say like 3 things. I'm fine. How are you doing? I'm doing great. How are you? Her response just told me her level of interest, and it told me how I want to elaborate back. Because when women don't want to be bothered, they'll let you know this. Fine.
Body language.
If they give me that fine like that, if they give me that, hey, I'm fine, then I'm not trying to create the next thing too. She's already showed me her interest level. So I move on to the next one. I can be sitting here talking to her for 5 minutes, and then this one, I could close her in 2 minutes. But you know what I mean? Because my ego is in check. I'm not going to try to make her like me. Some chicks may not be into me, or shit, she could have just got dumped. She could have just got dumped and then hear my ass come being thirsty. You know what I'm saying? Like,
first of all, one thing that guys often forget is that pretty much every girl has a type. Like, some girls are super into my look, which is like, white guy with blue eyes, like Russian, like whatever. Some girls are really all about that. Some chicks are not about that at all. Like, they want a darker guy. They want a really skinny nerd. They want a super jacked bodybuilder. Like, every woman has a type. So again, every time you cold approach a girl, you don't know what her type is, right? So it's a little bit, some girls will be super attracted to you. There's a little bit of a luck element as well on top of good game.
And use Google Translator too, or make a game of it though. Make it fun. Make a game of it. Don't be like, oh, I can't speak English, so put it in here. Make it fun. Like, hey, baby, let's play a game. What's the game? You do this, and then you say little flirty shit, and you put it in your phone, and then you hand it back to her, and then you show her by your actions, like this is a game. So you telling her it's a game, and you showing her, and that keeps the mood light, and then you get that kind of interaction back from her.
Dude, you know what I like to do?
I can't speak. Put it in here.
With Google Translate, I like to purposely misinterpret sometimes what she's saying and make it sexual. I'll be like, like, you know, like over exaggerate, like purposely misinterpret it, and then in like a funny way to set a frame that I want to have. And that was pretty well.
Yeah, it's just the LOL effect. You're just kidding unless they gonna do it. I'm just kidding, like that's Nelly old school. I'm just kidding, like Jason.
I would never
unless you're gonna do it
in your mouth in the bathroom unless you're into it.
Yeah, you can. Sometimes I'm playing around and women take the bait, and I'm just playing. But I'll be like, all right, well, cool.
Yeah.
You know, I was really just playing, but since they taking the bait, let me just roll with this shit then.
Yeah, I do the same thing. All right, let's do one last. I know you got to bounce, so let's just do one last question. How do you feel about hypergamy? I've heard of chat athletes getting cheated on. It makes me pessimistic about ever having a long-term relationship. All right, so let me give my answer first. So my answer is this: women are individual people, just like people are individual people. There's some men out there who I wouldn't trust with $10, and there's some men who I would trust with all my life savings. There's some women who I wouldn't trust with $10, and there's some women who would trust with all my money, right? People are people. There's some women who are very hypergamy, and even if you are the perfect fucking boyfriend, the perfect lover, you make her come 100 times every single night, she's still going to cheat on you because it's her nature. Some women are going to be very reluctant to cheat because it's not in their nature. So you have to be selective. When you're selecting a girl to, let's say, like for anything more than just a fuck, you have to evaluate her qualities outside of physical. You have to look, okay, is she loyal? Is she like, is she family oriented? Like all these factors can come into play to decide whether she's a good mate or not. I think unfortunately guys, they see a hot girl, she fucks them good, and they assume because of that she's girlfriend worthy, right? Well, she's hot. Like when I ask a guy, well, why are you dating her? And his answer is like, well, the sex is good. I know that relationship is fucked because he doesn't have a real reason. So that's kind of my take on that. What's your perspective?
You guys got to realize, bro, we can all get cheated on, brother. And I'm telling you this just from being an OG and wisdom, bro. If women want to cheat on you, you're never going to find out, bro. Unless you like have some type of device on her car or you're going through her phone, you cannot tell, bro. Women can go sleep. Women can cheat on you and come back and pick you up from the airport and act like ain't nothing happened, bro. You can do stuff and feel guilty. Women can do shit and they'll have zero fucks. They will not miss a night of. They'll justify it in their brain to them why they did it.
Well, I think it really depends on a woman. Like some women, I think, are totally like that, and some women, for example, if they cheat on you, they'll feel guilty for the rest of their life. And there's, of course, a lot of women who are in the middle. So I think it really depends on the woman. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, guys feel like, hey, if I just stay on top of my game, it's not a possibility. No, it's always a possibility, bro. Yeah. You can be getting straight A's for 5 years, and then at that one day where you piss her off, and she goes on the girls trip, boom.
Yeah, that's
bye.
That's like the cost.
Oh yeah, she's going on a cruise now. You pissed her off. She's never cheated on you in 5 years. You pissed her off. Now she went on a girls trip on the cruise. Right. Never know, bro.
The way I kind of look at it is like that's the cost. I agree with what you just said. I think that's almost the cost of doing business. So like starting a business, your business, I can do everything right with my company, and my business could still fail. Right? There's all these factors outside of my control that could happen. Right? And yeah, I try to do everything in my power, but any business can fail. So it's like kind of like, of course, I'm still going to try to create a business, right? Like, I can go to the gym and have perfect form, and still get injured. So again, it's just got to maximize what's in your control, but also you want to live life. You can't just be fucking hiding.
But when you don't have one itis, you can deal with it. See, I can be a man and I can get cheated on. I can be hurt, but I can still move on. See, when I have one-itis, I'm sitting up crying. I'm thinking about how to get her back. Ooh, well, she always wanted me to marry her. Now is the time.
Ooh, yeah.
A lot of y'all guys getting married and shit. Y'all do these grand gestures because y'all done got put on ice from the chick because you done fucked up too many times. That one time that you fucked up and you're like, damn, you know what? Let me stop doing all this because these random chicks aren't worth missing my girlfriend. And then you go get the ring or you go get her the purse that she's been asking you for 5 years. They never gave it to her.
Yeah, that's like the worst thing you can do. Yeah, I definitely agree with that. Like a lot of guys have these like low value mindsets, which like fucks them over. Like you can't build a relationship on scarcity. You know, it's got to be. Yeah. So I definitely agree with you on that. All right, bro. So I know you got to catch a flight. So how can people find you? How can people learn more about you?
Appreciate the time, brother. You can reach me on Instagram, Dominance Mindset Raw Game, or just type in the Afi Kingdom podcast.
All the links are going to be in the description.
Yeah, and then I got a link tree. It gives you access to all my channels. You know, I just put 2 books out. They were #1 releases. You know, right. So that's pretty cool. My author. So it's like if you know, put it like this: don't shoot the messenger. So what I'm telling you is, I'm a dude who has experience. I've been doing this shit for longer than a lot of you guys were born, and I know just a little bit. I don't know everything, but I know just a little bit. As of right now, I'm on my purpose. I'm YouTubing. I'm on my podcast, and I'm catching a flight. This is what I preach. I practice what I preach. I preach what I do. So, yeah, Afi Kingdom podcast on YouTube, Dominance Mindset and Raw Game on Instagram, and then that's just the hub. You hit me up on Instagram, you can find everything that I do all in one place.
Yeah, we'll link everything in the description. Just do me a favor, man. Just send me the links that you want me to throw in. We'll put everything in description. And yeah, man, it's great having you. I think just from talking to you, honestly, I haven't followed your content too closely. Like I don't know your stuff, but like you seem like a very reasonable guy, and pretty much everything you say, I more or less agree with. Like we might disagree slightly on specific techniques, but in terms of like big picture, like pretty much everything you say, I'm like, yeah, that makes fucking sense.
Well, and that's a part of being a man too, bro. Like people be feeling like if content creators, either they agree or there's beef, bro. I got friends, they don't like wrestling. I love wrestling.
Yeah.
I love seafood. They like burgers. Just because we don't have to like all the same shit to get along. Understand that. We're all different.
So true. It doesn't have to be.
We don't have to. As long as we respect each other, we're good. If I code approach and you don't, I don't. No, playing with fire. I don't care, bro. That makes you happy. That's the shit that you like. I like to paint. I like to paint and listen to jazz. Somebody might think that's beta. Oh well, it makes me happy. I like writing chapters in my book. That may be boring to y'all, but I like being an author. And then, like I say, chicks dig it too.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. Like, I think like there's a lot of people who I collaborate with who I don't agree with every single thing they say. You know, people always ask me like, well, you did a video with this guy and he said this and you said this like 3 years ago. So how do you reconcile that? I'm like, because he's a different person than me. We don't agree on everything, but I like his underlying message. And I think he has a lot of value to offer. Like, for example, you can follow my channel and you can think that my text game is on point, or you can think that my, mindset is totally fun. That's okay.
As long as you're a good dude, bro, that's all I care about. Like Prince O, that's our medium person. I was his very first subscriber.
For sure. Like for example, I follow Tim Ferriss and Joe Rogan, right? I don't agree with every single thing they do. I'm not in the woods hunting elk like Joe Rogan, but I like a lot of his other shit, so that's okay, So I think what you said is pretty big, man. All right, bro. Yeah, thank you so much for coming on. It was great doing it. I would have to do one for your channel as well. And we'll
all good. Yeah, just tap in with me on the WhatsApp and or Instagram. Everybody, y'all have a good night. Hopefully, if y'all don't agree with nothing, just look through this video and pick 5 things, and you'll be all right.
Awesome, man. Yeah, just send me the links, and I'll link everything in the description.
Appreciate you, brother.
All right, bro. Have a good night. Thank you for coming on. All right, guys, I'm just going to go through, because I know a lot of you guys had questions, so I'm going to go through the rest of the questions in rapid fire. So we're going to go for another maybe 15 minutes. I'm going to try to run through a lot of the questions you guys had, because I know a lot of you guys, have questions. I don't want to leave people hanging. So we're going to go through these pretty quick. And if you need any clarification, then you can just, post in the forums or, catch my next live stream. All right. So I've heard from various sources, including Redpill Forum, that sometimes during a first kiss, it's good to be the one to pull back first. Do you recommend this? I think it's largely irrelevant. Yes, I think that can be effective, and I sometimes do that. But sometimes another thing I do is I'm about to go in for the kiss and I get close, and then I don't do it. So I love doing that shit even more. I love to get close, but then I just don't kiss her. I just build the sexual tension. I find that works really well. But honestly, again, you're getting into largely irrelevant details. You know, it's more important. I like to focus, like when I'm kissing a girl, like I'm fully present in the moment. I'm just thinking like, unless of course I sense like her friends in the background and there's an imminent cock block coming, or Rhaegar's like creeping on me and like humping my leg. You know, generally speaking, I'm just like in the moment. And I'm like, yeah, like I just letting my like fucking, I don't know, inner primal man take over, right? So, you know, I think guys sometimes get too focused on the technicalities. But I've had mixed results where like generally shows that you know how to pace, but with one really conservative start to initiate the kissing again. Yeah, I mean, again, like my whole thing has been don't like really focus on the tiny little details, focus on the big picture, focus on the fundamentals instead of like these tiny little techniques. Okay, so we actually hang out. So we actually went through this question. Always spitting fire for sure. How do you avoid coming off too strong sexually? You gauge her reaction. So my escalation is never 0 to 100, right? In one text, I'm always just like, check out my video on how to sex girls or how to sexualize. It breaks this down really well. But the long story, you know, to make a long story short, I'm always pinging. Like I'm always escalating 5%, 10%, 15%. I'm seeing how she reacts every step of the way. And then if I get pushback, well, that's okay. I can just go down a level, right? So I'm never going from nothing to a lot. I think that's where guys mostly fuck up. Just met this amazing cutie. Arranged a date only after a few weeks. Thanks to you. Definitely wife material, playing with fire. All right, man. I'm glad to hear. Although I will say that just a girl you met is never wife material because you simply don't know enough about her, right? So while she might be a wife material, she also might not be. You know, that shit, you know, takes months, if not years, of, you know, getting to know someone to really discover. What do you say to hold a frame to a girl who says, I'll think about it after you ask to hang out? I would just call her out on it, honestly. I would say, you don't sound confident. Like, that would be my response. Like, I don't have time to, like, fucking win her over. Like, fuck that shit. Yep. Been doing no contact with a girl for 1.5 weeks. Should I avoid watching her stories as well? Also started posting a lot since I started no contact. Shall I like her pics or not? I would need to know more of the context, like why are you doing no contact? Is this an ex-girlfriend of yours or whatever? But generally speaking, yeah, probably don't watch her stories. Like she'll see that unless she has like fucking thousands of people watching her stories, in which case, yeah, like I don't see any point in watching her stories. So just generally, you know, just focus on other shit in your life if you're trying to do no contact. Yeah, so again, this is kind of what I was saying earlier. I think that the vibe I got from Afi is that he's very much a natural, and I've noticed this across the board with every natural. They have a really hard time. It's not that they're purposely doing this; they just have a really hard time explaining like the details. Why would they do worse? Because to them, in like their mind, they never had to develop that extreme analytical ability to like really learn the game. So I think I've noticed this with like pretty much every natural I've ever hung out with. Like, you know, again, to this day, like I have some natural friends and they'll be like, yeah, man, you know, you would have liked this shit. I fucked this really hot chick the other night. I'd be like, oh, cool. What happened? They're like, oh, you know, I was at the bar and then, you know, I approached her. I was like, oh, cool. How did that go down? I was like, what do you mean? I approached her. Like they have a hard time getting into the little details because in their subconscious mind, it's not a big deal. Which is both good in terms of like your own functioning, but it's bad in terms of coaching and explaining. But of course, a natural could teach themselves to kind of get to that point. That's not to say a natural can never be a good coach. I actually think there's a lot of advantages to being coached by natural as well. It's just kind of like a little observation I made. I mean, I'm also quitting social media, so I'm not sure. My objective is to recover her interest. Again, this is not nearly enough context. Yeah, I don't know if you dated this girl, some random chick you never met. She was your ex-wife, like what the context is. Usually when someone talks fast, that's a sign that they're hiding something. Not necessarily. I'm a pretty fast talker. I have nothing to hide. I think that some people naturally talk fast. Some people naturally talk slow. Generally speaking, I find that when someone's hiding something is not so much the rate at which they speak, but whether they're comfortable with silences. So someone who's okay with like a silence, generally speaking, has less to hide than the guy who's like constantly trying to fill in every void. Like if you notice that with salespeople, like a salesperson who's not confident in their product, they won't let a lull in the conversation happen. They're just constantly talking. Versus a salesperson who's really confident, they know you're going to buy their shit. They don't care. They're just going to let it sit. Yep. All right. Next question. Do you ever feel unmotivated about women? I get plenty of likes matched on Tinder. The last couple of weeks, I've had little motivation message them to keep the conversation going, message them. For sure, I get like, again, I'm a human being. I get bouts of apathy. I get bouts of motivation. I think the solution to that, honestly, is discipline. So I have good discipline. It's not so much even with women. It's like sometimes I really don't want to fucking go to the gym. It's fucking leg day. I don't want to train my legs. I'm tired. I just want to actually crawl back in bed and sleep. I want to just fucking watch whatever, Narcos, and pass out. But I have the discipline, right? So it's like a habit. I have the discipline to do this, just like I have the discipline to, basically run good game. And sometimes when I'm really not feeling it, I might not, fucking hit on girls. It's not like a key component of my life. But anything that I deem a priority, generally speaking, I'm gonna like put that pressure on myself to execute it, right? That's just generally, what I've trained myself to do. Not to say I'm perfect at it, far from it. Like I still like, I feel like I could actually be a lot more disciplined in some aspects of my life, like for sure. But just like other aspects of my life where I spend a lot of energy in just building that discipline. Am I at a big disadvantage if I don't use Instagram much? What are the ways to generate? No, you're not at a big disadvantage. To give you an example, J Mold, John Anthony, who's been on the channel several times, his like count's over 1,000, and he only got an Instagram, like in terms of one that he gives girls, maybe 3 months ago. Like his first 1,200 lays did not involve using Instagram at all. So no, you're not at a big disadvantage. I do think that it's advantageous nowadays to get Instagram and to make posts. I think that there's an advantage to it, but no, it's not a fucking deal breaker. Yes, sir. Please do. Yeah, I mean, he seems fairly legit, like just from talking to him. Well, we have a mutual friend who swears by him, but also just from talking to him, like I can tell this guy gets laid just by the way he carries himself and his confidence. Like it's pretty apparent that he fucks girls. So I would say that part is pretty clear. All right, no more hate. Body language never lies. You have to pay attention. Yes, agreed. So just have to pay attention to body language is universal. All right, moving on. Do you all ever plan a long-term relationship? If so, how are you going to approach that? Yeah, probably. I'm sure that when I'm in my 40s or 50s, I'm going to want to settle down with a girl. I've actually had long-term relationships. I've had, well, it depends what you consider long-term, but I've been in relationships for over a year. The really hard part for me personally is the being exclusive and monogamous, because I'm always tempted to like fuck other girls. Like if I really like a girl, I don't want to cheat on her, so it creates that like conflict of interest a little bit. So I think that though, I think as I get older, that will probably change. But generally speaking, I'm gonna pick a girl who is really fucking just perfect. I'm gonna pick a girl who's physically really hot. Like I want to have the hottest girl in the room if I'm gonna be dating a girl. Like I don't want to be in a situation where me and my wife we go to dinner and someone else's chick is hotter. Like I always want to be the one as the hottest girl. This way I'm not tempted. It's gonna be the first component. Secondly, she's gonna have to be a good person. So I'm gonna really screen hard for values. Like I want her to be smart, right? I can't fucking settle down with a dum-dum. She has to be smart. She has to be witty. She has to be funny. She has to be passionate. She has to be very loyal, very caring, very understanding. So there's all these qualities that I'm gonna screen for. I think that would be my approach. First of all, look how nervous he is on live video. How do you think? We got another hate. The goats. Thank you, Mr. Princell. Thoughts on super likes. I've talked about this before. I don't think so. There's this silly theory out there that if you super like a girl, you're gonna come off as needy, and that will fuck you over somehow. It's total bullshit. The advantage of super like is that you go to the front of her queue. So if a chick, for example, doesn't have Tinder Gold, which most chicks don't, and she's just swiping for maybe like 5 profiles a day, you're gonna get to the the top of her queue. So it's going to be a small advantage in that sense. I wouldn't pay for super likes, but you get like 5 or whatever with Tinder Plus. I just use those, but I don't like pay for them or anything like that. Okay, what else we got? Just gonna go for like a few more minutes. Any advice for disabled men trying to date? Bro, it really depends on what your disability is. Like, are we talking physical, mental, emotional? What exactly is your disability? Personally, I can tell you, if I depends on what disability, but generally speaking, I would try to do every single thing in my power to minimize that disability. I would do fucking physical therapy every day. I would do fucking peptides. I would do human growth hormone. I would do stem cells. I would literally do anything and everything to minimize my disability and be able to function to the best of my ability. So that might not be an option for you. It might be something that cannot be fixed. I would try like every experimental treatment. Like I would do all this shit. That's just me personally. Yo, what's good, Chad? How y'all nights going? Pretty good, man. Thank you for asking. The world is a stage that's poorly casted. Intriguing. All right. I'm re-engaging old leads from a month ago. I've been getting a lot of replies saying, who is this? What would be the best way to let them know who I am again without being needy? Just send them your name. I would say, Alex, you forgot about me already, question mark? Or like, tisk, it's Alex, something like that. Or yeah, something pretty straightforward. Oh, damn, these questions, it looked like we were almost through, and then a bunch just came in. What's the key to get any girl? Again, there's no such thing. You're not going to get any girl. You're not even going to get 50% of girls. You're going to get a percentage, maybe 10, 20% of the girls. Depends on whether some guys, what they do is they don't really take risks to minimize their rejection rate. I don't really like that approach. I like what Afi was talking about with warm approaching. So you're kind of scanning for interest. But, you know, if I see a hot girl and she's not checking me out, I'll still approach her anyway. I don't give a shit. Like, I get rejected, whatever, I'll fucking survive. So there's no such thing as getting any girl. Anyone in the pickup community who's telling you, oh, use this to get any girl is purely fucking lying to you. It's total fucking dog shit. Law 555, agreed. All right, so let's see. We're getting a lot of random comments. Damn. Why is the moderator deleting all the good questions? What are you talking about, dude? I didn't delete a single question. I don't really delete questions ever. If you go through my channel or my forums, unless someone is hardcore trolling and just wasting space, even if it's opinion, even someone who I think is retarded, I'll just tell them that they're retarded. I'm not gonna actually delete or censor them. So no one's deleting anything. How will you handle a girl you know that is dating that you want to smash offline? I think you're talking about a girl who's in a relationship. I generally speaking, I won't focus that much. Oh shit, this fucking webcam just fell. Hang on a second. My apologies for the technical difficulties. So generally speaking, I won't invest too much energy into a girl that's, for example, in a relationship because I just don't want to waste my time because those are going to be lower probability. But generally speaking, I'll fucking treat her like any girl. Like, right? Like I'll just, good game is just good game. You know, if she's, I'll be a little bit more low key if she's in a relationship. So I'll be conscious of the fact that she has to be like, you know, sneaky. So maybe I won't text her at a time when she's with her husband. Like if I know that, for example, her husband works from 9 to 5, then generally I'll text her during that time period because she's going to be more likely to insta reply. I'm not going to text her like 7 p.m. when she's having dinner with him. So just little things like that. But damn, tall drink of water, if water with glasses. While I may be tempted to climb a mountain, I prefer good old-fashioned convos first before proposals. How would you respond to this? Again, I don't know the context, man. So make a post in the forums with all the screenshots from start to finish, and I can give you a solid response. But without like the context, it's impossible for me to give you a good response. Wait, well, I told this girl a good job on the color selection. She said, "You want my number?" Honestly, was shocked. Later, she was concerned she gave her number to a 16-year-old. I'm 25. I made her believe I'm 14. Are you asking me how to respond to that? I don't know, man. I would just say I'm actually 8. I was waiting for my mom. Probably just exaggerate and then ultimately tell her my real age. Like, don't worry, you're good. I'm 25. Yeah. Okay. So answer that question. Is it advisable to hit a girl who number you got from a friend? Yes, as long as the friend actually gave you that number, you didn't like fucking steal it from his phone. Yeah, what do you have to lose? What do you think about talking with women about politics? Bad idea. Don't do it. The only girls I discuss politics. First of all, generally speaking, politics are not a good conversation anyway. I only discuss this shit with family, good friends, and girls who I'm already banging, who I know are not going to get super emotional about this. Like, some people are literally incapable of talking about politics because they just have their ego. Like, if you disagree with anything they think politically, they think you're personally attacking them. So, there's a lot of that shit. So if a person falls to that category, I won't talk to them about politics. But like, I find most chicks who I wind up dating, they're pretty reasonable. So, I'll just have like friendly discussions. I never try to argue with them or shit like that. It's pointless. Does photo editing, wider shoulders, arms work? You can photo edit. You can give yourself an extra 5-10%. But if you give yourself an extra 25-50%, it's going to come off as obvious. All right, guys, we're going to go for a few more minutes. Live your life and female superior, if it's what Afi is saying. Yes. Okay. Well, still didn't answer your question about how when he hooked up with a new girl. All right, let's just move on. I see. It's not a movie, it's a show, Californication. Have you guys ever done DMT? Yes, I've done DMT numerous times. It's a little scary, but it's definitely an interesting experience. Sir, my girlfriend never initiates the conversation first, mostly me, though. We have the best time when we actually start, but the initiation is mostly by me. Should I pull back or let it be like this? Is she actually your girlfriend, or is it a situation where you think she's your girlfriend? It's not really. Like, have you guys established that? How long have you guys been having sex for? I think so, it just depends on the girl. Like, some chicks, she might not be that into you, or she might be super into you, but she thinks that, she's being feminine and she wants you to initiate. So without knowing the dynamic of your relationship and the girl, it's really hard for me to give you like a straight up answer on that question. All right, guys, we're going to do 3 more questions, and then we're going to call on that because we just went for 2.5 hours. How do you guys get past chicks expecting exclusivity? At what point do you tell them you're not interested in a relationship? There's no specific point. I'm just pretty upfront from the start, so I don't hide my life. Like, when chicks meet me, they get a pretty good idea that I have a lot of girls in my life. So generally speaking, most of the girls I'm with would follow don't ask, don't tell, right? Like, they know that I fuck other girls, but they prefer not to know. And I'm very careful not to like rub it in their faces, right? You don't want to be like rubbing in a girl's face that you're fucking other girls. I think that's like just, first of all, just douchey, and second of all, it's poor game. Some chicks are cool with not having exclusivity if you're giving them a lot of value, which is generally what I try to do. But yeah, there's no like specific point. What's your opinion on cold approach DMs? So are you talking about cold approaching girls again at Instagram? I'm assuming you're talking about girls who you don't know and you slide into their DMs just because you see them on Instagram. So yeah, I mean, again, what do you have to lose? Now, the thing with doing that is you're gonna have to run much higher volume. So I'm kind of experiencing that myself. So right now I'm working on a follow-up product, that Instagram game. I'm noticing that you have to run much higher volume on Instagram to get the same results that you would on a dating app, right? And that makes sense because there's not that, when you match with a girl on Tinder, there's like that social contract. Like, you guys both find each other attractive, you're gonna try to make it work. Now, some chicks, of course, don't live up to that social contract, but that's kind of generally the expectation. Now, with Instagram, you don't have that. You're kind of like a stranger who's trying to like solicit her and start a conversation. So you have to run higher volume. But aside from that, again, you have nothing to lose. Alex, does being verified an app make a difference? Yeah, I think I don't have objective data to give you, but I think that it makes you look more legit. It certainly can't hurt in any way. I think it'll probably give you somewhat of an advantage. All right. The context is I met her on G, didn't get to hang out because of Corona, so we just texted like once per week. We talked around 4 weeks. It was her, the one to hit me up though. Yeah, again, so this is not this chick is a total stranger. So I think that because you're focusing, like, I understand this is like a fucking ex-booty call that you really want to get back, or a chick that used to fuck who just got fake tits and now you want to get in round 2. But you never even met this girl. Like, focusing so much energy on her is just like silly. Hit her up, don't hit her up. Like, this girl's not worth even doing a no contact thing with. Just fucking try to make it happen. If it doesn't happen, be persistent. If it doesn't happen, then move the fuck on. You know, don't spend your energy thinking about how to do no contact with a girl that you don't even know yet. It is the romantic balcony, but you guys haven't seen all of it yet, so it kind of wraps around. All right, we're gonna do one last question. All right. Will you ever make a video on Instagram game? Yes. So those videos are coming out in the next few months. I'm just still developing my Instagram game, so I think it needs a little spit and polish. But once I feel like I'm truly competent in it, you guys probably noticed that I only really like to talk about stuff that I'm really well versed in. So that's when that'll come out. So it's definitely coming. I don't have an exact time frame for you guys yet. All right, guys, awesome. We just went for 2 hours and 15 minutes. My voice is close to giving out. But yeah, thank you guys, everyone, for joining. Afi, I think, was an interesting guest. I think that even if you don't agree with everything you said, there's little nuggets of wisdom throughout this interview that I think anyone can benefit from. Like me personally, I'm gonna fucking try the hashtag thing. Like that seems interesting. So there's like these little nuggets of wisdom that you can look for. All right, so we got a so for next, I think next Sunday we're gonna do Justin Mark, which is the guy from Let's Get Girls or whatever. So. It's gonna be an interesting guest because he's a short Indian guy, so it's gonna be interesting to see like how he overcame that and all that. So we have a lot of awesome videos coming out. I have a video coming out this week. I'm gonna break down a very simple. I actually wanted to make a video like this for a while because it talks about a lot of my text game videos. You see these complex situations. Really, the majority of the time, text game is actually much more straightforward than that, right? Like I'm usually posting, when I'm making videos, I'm using like my craziest examples because I want something where there's like a big challenge that I have to overcome. Like when it was just like, hey Trouble, hey, how are you? Good. How's your evening going? Oh, pretty good. And then 10 texts later, we're making plans to hang out. And like guys find that boring because it's just like a chick was into me. However, I'm gonna put out a video that kind of breaks this down to much more detail and talks about why simplicity is good and also what the 3 fundamentals of good text game are. So that's gonna be coming out Tuesday. We're gonna make a video on analyzing Hank Moody, who I mentioned earlier. I think is the pinnacle of what really solid games should look like. And then we have a video coming out on my Tinder stats. So I did an experiment where I restarted my Tinder. I saw how long it took me to get to 100 likes. How many of those girls respond to the opener? How many of girls respond to the re-engagement? So I'm gonna give you guys the exact percentage of my Tinder success. All right, guys, awesome, guys. Thank you for joining. Make sure you hit the subscribe button, subscribe to the channel so you miss out all the awesome content. Make sure you check out our Instagram at Real Playing Fire. There's a lot of stuff I post on there that I just don't post it here. A lot of text game of the day and memes and a lot of good shit like that. You guys don't want to miss it. And of course, check out our forums.playingfire.com. It's super active. We're close to getting to, I think, 400 active members right now. So it's popping. So definitely check it out before it becomes too busy for me to be able to answer people. All right, guys. Have a good night, everyone. And may the force be with you.